alright, buddy? Hiya, Trav. Yeah, it's quite windy here. I'm not sure. Can you hear me okay? Give us an okay if you can hear me okay, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know why, but I seem to have got Wi-Fi connection here. I haven't spotted why I am getting... Oh, there's an EE shop there. Oh, was it? No, can't be EE. But I've got a great Wi-Fi connection, so we'll see how that goes for a bit. Harry's already had his first conversation. It is so windy here today. We've tied the banner down as best we can. So hopefully it's all holding. As you can see, little bits of string and we certainly will make the news if the wind catches this and makes it fly off in town and into a shop window. That will be the biggest news that we've made so far, I'd imagine. Alright. Yeah, it's a bit it's a difficult town, this one, on where's best to set up. They don't really have a central spot. The town seems to be, well, it just seems to be all over the place. So we've decided to set up right next to the cathedral. I'm sure there's some Masonic influences there somewhere. I'll start handing out some leaflets in a minute. Oh, that wind's picking up again, which really does concern me. So I just want to pick up my litter. See what happens. Let me give you a leaflet. All right. Got any questions? I'm just here. There we go, guys. Little crowds already. Yeah, I agree. Yep. A year ago, I'd so agree. It's my own observations when I see land that you shouldn't be able to see.
Why not?
Well, there is. You'd appreciate there has to be some sort of mathematical formula for the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah.
It's called Pythagorean's theorem. Spherical trigonometry. I know you're saying that no, it's not, but it's. And yet, kind of millions of people kind of say it is. So all I can say is we'll go to disagree on that, and then. Well, maybe. Well, yeah, we are all wrong. I agree. But no. Check the figures out yourself when you get home and all that. It's Pythagorean's theorem, spherical trigonometry, and there's lots of calculators online that you can just bunch in your numbers. I mean, these are scientists that are working with these numbers.
Are you taking into account atmospheric refraction?
Okay, I'd agree. You know, on the shorter distance, like Calais to Dover, when you can see the whole White Cliffs of Dover, when you're not meant to, I'd agree with that. Refraction makes kind of sense because I've seen shimmering, I've seen up and down, up and down. That's the longest distance photograph. 273 miles, and you can still see land.
Yes.
3 miles should be hidden.
No.
Well, no, you're saying no, but please. All I can say is go home. Sorry, and that was taken into account for the 3 miles.
What elevation was it taken at?
What?
2,000 metres above sea level.
Yeah.
2,000 metres, you've got to know you can't.
Okay, yeah, all I can say is for you to just go home and check the figures.
2,000
No, I know. I don't want to argue with it over it. All I can say is.
Clearly you do.
Well, no, not on that, because I mean, like, it's information that you guys haven't got yet, and I just implore you to go home and investigate that information. We don't want anyone to believe us today. We want people to go home and critically think and examine the evidence for yourselves. That's it. That's all we're asking. We think we should be allowed to ask questions. We're all adults. It's healthy to ask questions, would it be?
How elevation and refraction alters perception.
I agree. I've seen this. But would it lift mountains 3 miles high? And we've also got evidence of a guy in an airplane with a solar filter. He's got 500 miles of a perfect view of land. 500 miles.
Okay. How do you counteract that with the other evidence?
What's that? Which one?
Let's go for NASA.
Okay, as in, I mean, you obviously believe in the moon landings, then, do you?
Let's go shore.
You do, you do. I mean,
For the sake of argument, let's say yes.
okay. I mean, like, because the thing is, we don't believe that the moon landings ever happened. You know, like, they couldn't get past the Van Allen belt. There's lots of anomalies.
What's your evidence for Van Allen belt existing?
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, that's not my evidence. That's the fact that Mr. Van Allen himself, who who says that. That's what NASA says. That's what NASA says. NASA says that the Van Allen belt's there, and that they're struggling to get into to go to Mars at the moment until they get past they need to get past the Van Allen belt.
That's not true.
That is true. And I can show you the evidence of astronauts actually saying this.
Please do.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
please do.
Oh, except for I'm live. Have you got a smartphone?
It's on 4% battery, so
Sorry, I was going to say. I mean, because I've got people watching here. See, I mean, there's a guy. If you type in NASA. Oh God, guys, can you help me? What do they talk about? The NASA and the Van Allen belts, and that they can't get out of low Earth orbit. Is that? Can you guys put me in the right direction of which video that is? I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just asking you guys to go home and sort of do the research yourselves.
absolutely. But I'm asking you.
I mean, it's just on the spot. I mean, I've got one hand on a mobile, one hand on this, and
That's fair enough. But I'm not asking you.
is it? Oh, it's called Orion Trial by Fire.
Orion
Trial by Fire.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes. And he talks about the Van Allen, but they said that they can't get past it. They haven't the technology, and they're working on it. They've got this Orion spaceship that they've almost cracked it. They've almost sorted it out.
Are we actually looking?
Oh, sorry. It was on YouTube. It was Orion Trial by Fire.
What evidence do you have that this guy works for NASA except that he says?
Oh, well, I don't know. You have to investigate that yourself.
Okay,
No,
when will you be back here for me to bring my evidence to you?
Oh, well, on the leaflet there, I mean, like, all you can do is, on the inside up there, you can speak to us all on Globelight and FE Star. There'll be links to this video and all sorts, and then you can chat to us all online on any old evidence. We want to have conversations with you guys.
Fabulous.
You know, yeah, that's the one. And I'll leave that one with you.
Alright.
But look. I mean, that's not my only sort of evidence. I mean, like we know.
What other evidence do you give?
Yeah, of course.
What evidence do you give for the ice sheet around the
I knew that was going to happen. It's too hard to try and hold all this.
You want me to hold some of it for you? Or?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Look, I mean, we know the behaviour of water, do we not? I mean, like, it seeks its own level, it stays flat.
Sure.
So, I mean, like, whether it be in a cup, whether it be in a bath, whether it be in a lake, whether it be an ocean.
Yeah.
So what's making the oceans curve right the way right round and holding it?
thing called
gravity.
Excellent, right, because that's what I was taught. I mean, I did have the same education probably as you guys, and I taught it a year ago, and I believed all of this.
The reason that you're standing on the ground and not
Okay.
floating away.
Oh, okay, and that's what I was taught, except for with gravity, is there any proof to this? Because it's a theory of gravity and they don't know what it is, and yet I can give you an adequate explanation of what it is, but you can't give me an adequate explanation of what it is yourself, because science doesn't know.
Whether or not you have a theory or not, the fact is you are standing on the ground.
Okay, yes.
You are not floating away.
Yes.
The force that is keeping you on the ground.
Where's
will
this
keep
force
water.
provable?
You're standing there.
No, that you're showing what's happening, but is this provable?
It's experimentally valid.
But is it provable though?
Yes.
Because there is no experiment to prove this and that it works.
If we're going to step back and go to Descartes, then nothing is provable.
I don't know what that is. Descartes?
Descartes, he's a philosopher.
Oh, okay.
The fact that you are standing on the
Yes.
ground, you're being kept to the ground by whatever it is.
Okay, density and
It's the same-
buoyancy.
It is the same.
The molecules
thing.
in this are heavier than the air around it, and that's why it falls through the air, and then underneath, there you go, and then underneath the air wants to rise above it, and that's why helium balloons
The
rise.
same force that is keeping your feet on the ground. keeps water
I
on
was
the
taught.
ground.
I was taught the same thing, but there is no proof to that. That's what I'm saying. Should
So you're
should
saying water should float away.
I'm not suggesting that at all. I mean, like, because water is heavier than air.
Whatever name you wish to give the force that keeps your feet
So
on
you
the
say
ground.
force, but I'm asking for evidence. Let's pretend I'm just a
You are
child.
standing there.
You're just showing something that is happening. You're not giving me any evidence of what
In the
it
same
is.
way that the water is on the ground.
Do you not understand? You see where I'm coming from? So what is gravity?
Gravity is dependent on space.
Oh, well, so we're doing the Einstein way, because Newton doesn't. I mean, Einstein and Newton's gravity is totally different. Because you said the bending of time and space, and not. Well, that's what Newton says in relativity. He does.
Einstein.
Sorry, Einstein. Sorry, yeah.
Newton's and Einstein's gravity aren't different.
They're not. One's bending the time and space, and the other one is two masses being attracted to each other.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Einstein posited that the reason that space bends in the way it does.
Which is again a theory that we can't prove. Do you understand that someone's?
We
To
can
that
experiment
respect,
on it.
This is a theory that you
Well, I
can't
just showed
prove.
you evidence of lands that you should
And
be
you
able to
can-
see.
And you can see
I can
evidence
show you.
that there is. You
If I
Yeah.
take you
go
into a
to-
plane, I can show you evidence of the Earth curving away.
Okay, well, we've asked for this. We've asked for the people to evidence this and show us photographs that aren't using fish-eyed lenses. We've asked for this evidence.
Okay, do you want to come skydiving with me?
Skydiving. Well, I mean, he's been parasailing, paragliding most of his life. I've been up in aeroplanes, so.
That this theory exists.
Well, I mean, like, because when we send amateur high altitude balloons up, we see flat and level horizons. That's what we see. Oh, I see. When you're in space, we're not high enough. Because most people in science say that they can see the curvature, on the horizon on the
You're saying
beach.
every photograph
Do you
taken in
understand?
space is a lie.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
what I'm saying.
we really are saying that because that's what NASA's about. They're just being deceptive to you.
What about SpaceX?
And a lot of it we can prove.
What about SpaceX?
Well, again, I mean, like, we see rockets go up, we see them bend over, and then we see them come down. That's what we always see. Do we not see that?
You can go up and then stop.
We just see them go up? Because I don't think that in that case you haven't watched any footage. Or you're fibbing to me.
Go up and they curve.
Right, curve.
And then they
Right.
continue going up.
Because of the
Well,
curvature of the Earth.
They do not go up and
Okay,
then come down.
I have a difference
They
of
go up
opinion, but
and they leave.
are we okay? Because, I just seem
No,
you
they
look...
go up
She
and
gets
they
attacked hard.
Right, okay, it's just that, I mean, we can all be friends about this, having a difference of opinion.
They do curve, but they don't come straight back down again. They curve and they continue
And they go.
to leave.
Well, what we see is that when they go up and then they curve, and I'm suggesting that they come back down. But then we are presented with CGI cartoon. We were talking about SpaceX, and then we were presented with CGI cartoons. It's the greatest journey of mankind. And when they go up there, it just cuts to CGI cartoons
So
on
what happened
TV.
before CGI?
Sorry.
What happened before CGI?
We didn't go into space.
So we're talking about, let's say, Apollo or something.
Any of the Apollos.
I mean, CGI is.
CGI is a relatively new thing in the terms of space exploration.
Okay, well, let's look.
So
Let's take the photograph of Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got people who can paint things. Okay, to make them look so real that you cannot tell the difference. I've seen Coke cans with dew on them, and you probably have seen all this stuff yourself. There's some amazing paintings out there that can paint things just as good as photographs. So that's your pre-CGI.
There's a film called Hyperrealism. I've seen it.
All right, okay. I've seen some of that, yeah. So we'll agree that photographs, aren't proof.
Painting can be very good, But it's not just photographs.
I know this is hard, you know, like this one, and it is hard. It's difficult. I've got a difference of opinion with you, but this is NASA's photographs of Earth. That 2012, 2013. You can go on their site and you can evidence this yourself. NASA says that that's their photographs.
So
Is there a
all
problem?
the-
Is there a
all the
problem?
footage of
I know, but it's their
storm
problem with. I see. I'm looking at that, but you're not really.
Well, what about all the
Just
footage
see.
they've had of storm cells?
Of which storm cells? Well, high altitude balloons and that. High altitude and U2 planes and things. It's just high altitude photography. That's all it is.
Just interrupt.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Oh,
Leaflet.
there you go.
Thank you, darling.
You're right. Yeah. So. Sorry, she's on the phone. Yeah, I know it's very difficult. Give me some questions, and I'll try to
What's
do
the
my
distance
best.
between Japan and the East
I
Coast?
haven't the foggiest.
Is it the same distance as between, like, or a similar distance if you go longitudinally
Yeah.
between?
If I had time at home and all that, I
Yeah.
could give you them answers.
Yeah,
But
sure.
right here now, nothing.
You're asking me to go home and research things.
Yeah.
So can I go?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Of this distance, should, if the Earth is a disk,
Yeah.
be a lot larger than this distance?
I've been studying this for over a year.
Can I shoot you by the hand?
Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
So I got distracted. Sorry.
This distance
Yes.
should be a lot smaller than this distance. I said larger earlier on. Apologies, people.
Oh right, on a flat Earth or on a
On a flat Earth.
on a flat Earth.
On a
Well, that
spherical
seems
Earth.
that seems okay.
On a spherical Earth, these two distances should be the same.
Okay, okay. How would we measure this distance though?
On a boat.
Okay, but I mean with currents and tidal drifts and things, is that
You
and,
can just
and
journey
winds
the
and that?
term in days.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
like us,
But
I'm not
what
sure.
you can do is you can have a race between here and here, and here and here.
Well, we'll do it. You get me the 2 yachts. You go in one, and I'll do the other. Sounds great.
But
I know we're hypothesizing. Yeah.
do you basically say everything that I don't agree with is a lie?
No, I can't. That would be silly. I can't say that. No.
So could you,
But I did.
could you trust?
Right.
Could you trust the Navy?
I think everything is open to debate.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm.
So you agree with me there? Good.
Of course, everything's right.
Yeah. So I think we should be able to question things, you know,
Yes.
like without people getting upset. Sorry.
That's fair enough.
You've been really kind, so thank you. You know, like
So goes
look,
hard. Apologies.
yeah, I have lots of problems with things. I have problems with like shadows and things. You know, like why are shadows?
No. I asked you a question.
Oh yeah, but I said I can't. We will have to go back that.
Can you believe? Who can you believe? Because you can't believe the government.
Right.
They lied to you about NASA.
Okay.
Can you believe the Navy?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the government, though, isn't it?
So
So we're that. I
can you
mean,
believe?
right. Okay.
Like, that's the question.
This-
Can you just believe yourself and
Th-
the people?
right. Well, this is the different. This is the problem with a lot of science and all that. You know, like a lot of science is people aren't investigating. They're not experimenting. They're not investigating. They're just having faith and they're believing people.
Yes,
And
of
then
course.
totally closed-minded. Don't want to investigate further. They just want to say, well, he's got letters after his name, and I want to believe him.
Sure.
Okay. That's where we have a problem because we believe that we have been lied to.
Okay.
You know, and that's where.
Can you believe?
But that's what again. Then that means I'll have to say, I believe myself.
Okay.
It has to be, you know, like, and I know that's. It's a bit wishy-washy because there is certain things, you know. Do I believe that this iPhone here it will work? Well, of course it will work, you know, like because some guy invented it and all that. But I didn't invent it myself, and all. It's a complicated subject, that. You know, like we're generalising too big.
That's the heart of this argument.
No.
Cannot believe.
Because there's certain evidence that I can check out. I want you to check out that spherical trigonometry. That is land that I can see, and I believe them figures because of, and that's not just me, not just because of the flat Earth people, but the people who believe on the globe. But they're verifying them figures and saying that they're correct.
Yeah.
You know, like so, and when they say it's correct, you know, like all I'm saying is that then I shouldn't be able to see, like, I can see my local beach. You know, if I go down to Brixham and then I can see Exmouth, beach to beach. I can see them, you know, like zoom in. I can see 15 miles it is.
Yeah.
I can go beach to beach and zoom them. That's 40 feet under the curvature, and it always seems to be, oh, it has to be refraction. Every time I speak this, it's refraction, and I can accept it on 1 or 2 humid days and hot days and all that. I accept it because I've seen refraction. You know, you see it mostly shimmering on bonnets of cars and things and stuff. So I get that. But not all the bloody time. Come on. That's not. I just can't accept that. That will be the. Say that again.
Is that close to break some 15 miles?
Yeah, as the crow flies. Yes, right across. You're right. It's not if you drive around. It's a long way.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So yeah, land is my biggest problem. You know, like stuff that I can see. I've been sailing at sea. I can see lighthouses 30, 40 miles away.
Can disprove, or at least scupper the hypothesis of land? Would you...
That will help me back on my track to being a globe believer, but I still have thousands of other evidence I've got to destroy first.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
What it was is that I did, and it might not seem a lot to me, to you, but it was to me. I did 4.5 months of about anywhere from 15 to 18-hour days, trying my damnedest to debunk this. I don't know if you heard of debunk. You know, like I tried my damnedest to, and I went through absolutely everything. I'm not very good at reciting figures and things like that, but I can do my research and I make my own opinions.
Okay.
So I didn't take this lightly. 4.5 months. So land is my thing.
Yeah.
Seasons never made sense to me. Okay. That's all my life. That is. So see, but on a flat Earth, they make perfect sense. You know.
Oh really?
Well, yeah, because you know, like the very.
How do seasons work?
On a flat Earth.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we believe the sun and the moon are a lot closer. We believe that they're kind of and they're smaller and okay. So in our summer we have the sun that comes a lot closer. Okay, and that's evident because we can evident the 24-hour sun in the north, and there's lots of footage of the 24-hour sun.
And then it heads south in the winter.
And it heads south in our winter, but becomes the summer. Okay. Now the thing is, when it does that, there should be on a globe. There should be somewhere down there. I know there's an axis and there's a wobble, but somewhere down there should be another 24-hour sun, and that's.
There is.
And yet we can't find that footage.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? There's thousands of people.
Go to the Antarctic Research Station.
Done it. I've gone through all the footage. You know what you see? You see 24-hour daylight, okay, and then you see shadows that go from there to there, and then stop and go from there to there. All of their footage is tampered with, right, buddy?
No. Have you seen the northern 24 hours?
Yes, seen the northern one.
The shadows go from there to there.
Oh no, you actually see the sun go right the way right round.
Yeah, and you see. Do you not see that happen in the south?
No, that's the thing. That's the one. That's the evidence that we're all looking for.
Okay, fabulous, brilliant. I can get you that.
Excellent. Right. You got my leaflet, didn't you?
Yeah, to market.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Give us that evidence.
The reason you won't see it on most research bases is because they're too far north.
Okay.
Is that they're closer to? Is that they're on the edge of the ice sheet, and whilst the sun is orbiting around,
okay,
it's like Scotland,
right?
Where you do have those hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I don't even have to see the 24 hours. Give us 22 hours. Yeah. Well, it's just that what we see is about. I think we see about 8 hours of these shadows, and then they jump and start again. Well, if you see a shadow go from there to there, and then it goes from there to there right away, it has to be tampered with.
Okay, so if I give you footage,
that doesn't do that.
That doesn't do that.
Yeah.
What is to stop you saying that footage is actually from the north? What is to stop you?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I get your point. Most of the 24-hour sun footage that we've all seen, it's mostly from Norway or somewhere, and you kind of see the sea. Of course you can. Okay. It's clearly evident. It's so obvious that it's not Antarctica or the 24-hour sun in Norway. So, but you're quite right. I mean, like, what's to evidence and say that you're not in just some sort of snowy place somewhere? Yeah. Yeah. I think all we can do is when we get to that point, we'll look at it.
Because I really worry that I'll go, here's the evidence, and you'll say that's a lie. Because
but if you've got it to hand, it shouldn't be a biggie. It should be just in my face. There you go, in your face.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, excellent. Well, brilliant. These guys are, they're excellent. That's what they want. We all want this.
Yeah.
24-hour sun in the south. It's just, I mean, these guys have been, was it researching this for 4 or 5 years, and no one's found this evidence.
I can't believe that.
Really?
Because every time I've researched flat Earth,
Yeah.
the evidence that people who agree with it posit
Yeah.
is wrong and doesn't make sense,
Okay.
and is easily excused.
Right. Can I give you one more of my fine input before you go off?
Go for it.
Okay.
I can quite happily stand.
No,
all
it's
day.
fine. That's okay. Well, yeah, but I want to debate with lots of people, so I'll give you another one. Okay. So, aeroplanes.
Yep.
They use an artificial horizon. Okay.
Yep.
Artificial horizon, little bally thing.
Yeah.
So you see that ascending. It flies up, it levels. They can go from the UK here all the way to Australia, and it flies level all the way, and then it descends.
Yes.
Okay. So I know what you're about to say, why that is, and why it doesn't invert. I get a feeling I might know what you're going to say. Okay, but
Of course, it's not going to invert.
Why would-
Gravity pushes down constantly.
right. Well, that's what I thought. Okay.
No, that's okay.
But that's
Sure.
what I thought. I thought the same as you.
No, you agree that gravity always points down. Do
Ah,
you not
well,
believe
well,
in
look.
gravity at all?
See, universities now. This is lecturer Walter Lewin.
yeah.
Okay, he's quite a famous Massachusetts lecturer and all that.
Gyroscopes, yeah.
He says that gravity plays no effect on gyroscopes.
Yes, he's true.
Okay,
That's true.
so
We can observe that thanks to space.
right.
funnily enough.
Okay, so we were just talking about then as the mechanical gyroscopes. Okay, so as I say, they fly at level, and all the way to Australia, they will continue flying level. They won't invert. Okay,
That's not
but,
a
but
gyroscope.
the artificial horizon
It's not a
uses a gyroscope, a mechanical gyroscope. It is, but
Okay.
we'll disagree. We'll disagree.
If you like, an artificial horizon
Yes.
on a plane is not a gyroscope.
Okay, go on. What is it?
It's a ball. What is
Uses gyroscope inside and it spins round. They've opened it up. There's a chap called Wolfie and all that, and he opens it all up. But anyway, I wanted to go further because there is the newer, more modern planes.
Yeah.
They use the same. They use the MEMS devices in these things.
Sure.
Okay, so and these MEMS devices they work off inertia.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is there's a chap that I know called Dean Marble. Okay, he went on an aeroplane recently. He takes a level, takes one of these, and then you can see that it level up. You know, the bubble or something. You see it ascending, and then it levels, and he flies for such a distance, and then you see it descending as it's descending. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So I did this experiment at home, and again, no gravity involvement or anything like that. I did this experiment at home, and do you know what a 24-hour timer is?
Yeah.
I put I created a cradle for my phone to have a 24-hour timer. I put my phone there. I put the bubble and all of that there, and I filmed it. And you can see the bubble invert like you would expect it to happen. You know, because if I put a bubble there right now and show you, and what you see it invert. Okay.
Yeah.
How does my phone know that it's not on an aeroplane and that it's in my lounge? How does it know?
What do you mean?
Just see what I'm saying. I mean,
do
like,
not.
so he's got his So he's got this phone,
Yeah.
and he puts it down level, and then they fly,
Yeah.
and it doesn't invert. It stays straight and level all the way for this whole trip.
Sure.
Okay, but I've now put this on this 24-hour timer and watched it go over and round, and it inverts. So how does the phone know that it's not on an aeroplane?
Well,
And that's because it's to do with inertia. It's still the same period, 24-hour.
I'm pretty sure it's,
Well, MEMS devices, they work off inertia.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's because your phone also uses GPS and tracks the time, and so gives you an expected result.
And we thought that, but when you turn the GPS off, it still
Sure,
does
then
it.
it still ticks over with the time. Have you looked into the code
No,
of the actual?
not of the time bit. So you're quite right. I don't know if it interacts with the time. I don't know that bit.
Is that as it ticks over,
Yeah.
it moves the.
I mean, I just turned the GPS off. So
Sure,
yeah,
but
that's right.
But it can rather than go
Yeah.
GPS. It'll
Is
just
it
go,
worth investigating that?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
See if it's got a link to the time.
Yes, because I'm looking forward to actually communicating with you on YouTube and that. If you go to, I say in there, it's got a web address and that,
Yep.
and it just send us 24-hour sun.
Okay.
Check your spherical trigonometry.
Yep.
And then, I mean, confirm with me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, like, and apologise, and I'll go away and I'll hide away. But if I'm right, can you give me the courtesy and go?
Yeah.
You know, we've checked that bit out. Your observations of that, they're okay.
Sure.
Because that would be honest between us all.
I'd be more than happy to turn up.
Good.
I worry that if I turn up on those websites, then I will get banned for being not a believer. Does that happen?
So, oh no, because I'd say you'll probably be commenting through either my website or through YouTube itself.
Through the two.
Yeah.
On here.
Yeah. That's it.
Global Eye and.
See, if you go to FE Start, there's a link there straight to my YouTube, and you'll be able to see this footage. And we can, and people, they're so friendly. What they'll do, they'll just want to be able to talk to you and challenge you.
Yeah. How often are you down in Cornwall?
We're doing a UK tour of 53 locations. This is day 6, I think it is. Tomorrow is Penzance.
Well, I'm moving past tomorrow.
Yeah.
Friday?
We're doing Penzance and then Zant the same day, and then we're shooting over to Newquay.
Okay. Is your diary on the website?
You know what? It's not, and people have been asking that, so that will be tonight because people have been asking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you. Excellent. Sorry, I'm. Thank you very much. Do you want a leaflet? Excellent. And there we go. Oh, can I give you a leaflet? Would you like one? There you go. Oh, all right. You got that one? Would you like a leaflet? Excellent. There you go. There you go.
It's not a spinning ball. What is it?
We know it to be a flat plane. Flat. We don't know what the dimensions are. Will it be infinite? Will it carry on forever? We don't know that bit. We're not allowed to go because of the Antarctic Treaty says that you're not allowed to go. They've closed it all off. 53 nations have signed that treaty that says that you and me can't go. So yeah, we don't know the full dimensions. We're working on it.
I've never studied.
So have you heard of all this before?
Yeah.
And have you? What are your initial thoughts about it? I mean, same as me, bonkers at first.
Oh yeah, very much, yeah.
Not a question most things.
Excellent.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it in depth enough to be honest, but I did a bit after. Was it Freddie Flintstone?
Oh, that's right. He came out. That's right. He said. Let's have a look. If it's good enough for him.
Science, things like that.
Yeah. No. All we're doing is we're questioning science. That's what we're doing, and we're asking the public: can you reevaluate what it is you were taught at 5 years of age, and just reevaluate, question it? Because when I was a kid, I never questioned this once ever. So yeah, it's a given. Of course, we live on the globe.
What's your goal being here?
There's a website in there to get people to watch a couple of videos. End of.
Yeah.
The people decide for themselves. Like we can't drag people to this. You can't change people's minds in 5 minutes. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, we'll answer a few questions. We're doing 53 cities and towns, around the country. Some of the guys, we've put a lot in ourselves, but quite a lot of help from more flat earthers. Quite a lot of help. So yeah, no, it's been really positive.
How long have you been going then?
This is day 6, I think it is.
No, in general, for the whole.
Oh, for me,
The Flat Earth Society.
yeah, well, what it is that every flat earther I've ever met doesn't belong to this Flat Earth Society.
Oh, right.
We know this just to be a government, boy? They run the Flat Earth Society, disinformation. So it's and we're connected with them, and the things that they come off, it's just ludicrous.
How sure are you then? You're 100%.
Well, I you know what, my thing is I'm sure on lands that I shouldn't be able to see. That's my problem, and people don't look into this. There has to be a formula for the curvature, for a calculation for this. It works out to every mile is 8 inches drop. So it's 8 inches per square mile. Okay, this is Blackpool. Stood on the promenade, 65 miles away. You can see the Isle of Man. Okay, on a really good clear day. That was given to the Blackpool Gazette, and they run with that for a little bit. The highest mountain is 2,000 feet. But 2,500 feet should be hidden. And it's like, well, it's not just that. That was just one off, so you shouldn't be able to see any of that land. Even on a good day, you can see the White Cliffs of Dover from Calais. Well, you're not meant to, ever. Never be able to see that, and yet you can on a good clear day. Of course you can, sorry.
Aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes?
Yeah. You get in a plane. plane, you go up, it flies in a straight line.
Yes.
No, I can't even do the.
I mean, but which straight line? I mean, like,
Any line, in
but-
any direction.
and they can do that, can they?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's no wind that
Yeah, they
makes them sort of shift sideways
So if you
because
are
they've
just in
got
a
certain
plane
trims
that's
and
just
that.
going in a line.
Okay. Well,
Let's just say you have a plane
Yeah.
in a line, there's no wind.
yeah. Oh right. Okay.
Just go
So
in a line. What happens?
it will just carry on going to the to Antarctica, to the South Pole.
And
Well, we don't know that bit yet because it's. We were just talking about that. There is an Antarctic treaty that says that we're not allowed to go there. So we've got no.
fly over Antarctic.
Sorry.
Don't go to the Antarctic, go across the equator.
And this is what we're saying.
Because they can't fly the Antarctic. So let's say you're on the equator,
Yes.
you're flying in a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay. As in going round the equator. Okay.
No, there are no
Yeah.
choices.
Right. So I will go. I mean, a straight line just means that you're following your compass. Okay. Would that be? So I'm following my compass, and I'll always keep you north. You're north all the time, and you're still going to be north because north is just a heading. North will always be you. So, and that's all planes, ships. We circumnavigate people.
If the Earth is flat, are you saying it's then also infinite?
This is the bit what we don't know because we can't get past. I can't give you. What's it? Sorry, excuse my language. I can't give you bullshit. You know, like that. Do I know past this? No one is allowed to go to Antarctica.
Yes, they are.
When you say yes, they are. It's signed by 53 countries, and for you to get a permit, you've got to get signed off by 53 countries, and you need a few £1 million to do this, and then you're escorted. Well, there is because if you just go now all by yourself, you'll be escorted and you'll be put in jail because we've already got people that are put in jail.
That's not true.
Yes.
I don't doubt the people who've been put in jail.
Yeah.
I doubt that you need to be signed off by 53
Oh,
countries.
then check it out for yourself. There's actually.
The 53 countries signed is that you're not allowed to own land on Antarctica. This hasn't stopped 21 countries owning land
Okay.
on Antarctica, including us.
Right.
The research bases that are on Antarctica are fully owned by the nations that built them. In addition, you only need this chief scientific officer. I know this because I went to the University of Plymouth.
That's
Heads
okay.
the world in
All right, okay.
exploration.
On that website that I said, there's a great video and tells you all about Antarctica, and it tells you all about the the Antarctic Treaty.
Why are you hung up on Antarctica? Surely
No,
there is.
Because no one's ever flown over it. That's the
Is it
thing.
just another bit?
No
It's the edge, look.
no,
It's the edge.
So you're saying Antarctica is the edge?
no, I'm not. I mean, that's just a picture on my wall. That was just to help you understand seasons and where south is and
Where
north.
is the edge?
That's it. We've never. If you let me finish, no flat earther has ever said that there is an edge. This is just a government programming for people to mock flat Earth. We've never ever claimed there's an
So is
edge.
it possible then? Are you saying it's possible then that it is infinite if there is?
Well, we believe
possibly no
space is
edge?
infinite, and why is that not a problem?
They don't.
You don't ever expanding of space? Is that not ever expanding of space? What science says, is that not infinite?
No.
Oh, ever expanding. So it's not ever expanding. It just stops.
According to science.
you see what I'm saying?
If space is expanding, it will reach its extreme and then it will retract.
Okay. So how can we prove this? Where does this evidence, these theories, come from? Just what I'm saying. The belief and the faith in scientism, the religion.
If you ignore Antarctica, because Antarctica.
Well, no, you're telling us to ignore it, but we disagree with you.
Unless you're saying Antarctica goes all the way around.
Which is it?
That's what we do say.
Antarctica
Oh,
goes
I
all the way around.
see. Antarctica goes all the way around.
Completely.
We are surrounded by Antarctica.
By Antarctica. In every direction.
So when I
And then you ask me, could it be infinite? We don't know if it's infinite. Just like we don't know that space is infinite.
You can't fly over it. It's cleaned up.
I know what you're saying, but can you evidence this? Because I've been looking. Has it? You're saying this, but there is no proof that it's been done. Tell me which explorer has ever flown over the South Pole? Which one is that?
Andrew Lockhart, 1974.
Excellent. So you're on the spot. Right, guys. Andrew Lockhart. Lockhart? Lockhart, 1974. Can someone do a Wikipedia on that, please, or something? Andrew Lockhart.
I really have to go.
No, all right. It's good talking to you, but someone's going to check that up.
Go for it, please do. Tell me I'm
We will
wrong.
try and catch up.
No,
with
no,
you
good.
anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So, last question.
Go on.
What causes eclipses?
What causes eclipses?
Yeah.
We don't know. To be honest, we don't know.
And the moon's here, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
moon's
okay,
circular
but
around the
yeah,
sun.
that's right. We
When
don't
I
know,
have
we
seen the
we don't know what
eclipses
causes
myself.
eclipses. What we do know is the behaviour of shadows.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is the eclipse shadow at 75 miles? Is that the size of the moon? Is it?
What do you mean? Why?
Can we have a shadow? Can we make shadows smaller than itself? Is that possible in our reality?
Yes.
Can we?
Yes.
So we can make shadows smaller than itself.
Yes.
Yeah. How do we do that?
You get a no. You get a
Really?
You get a light source.
Because I've never seen this in our.
That's fine. That's fine. You get a light source that's larger than the object.
Say that again.
You get a light source that's larger than the object. So you get, say, a big torch,
Okay.
which is larger than the object, and you place the object closer.
Because I'm going to experiment this. I'll try it.
Yeah, please do.
You know, because I have done some experiments,
It's a
but
very bizarre scientific quirk that the distance between the sun and the moon,
Okay.
and the moon and the Earth,
yeah.
That's just random chat.
is just.
See, this is what we don't agree with this.
That's fair enough. That's
We
fair
think
enough.
that's and yet
See how
this makes so much sense if the sun and moon are a lot closer.
Okay.
Complete
You don't know
sense.
What causes them to have been like?
Well, no, I mean like the moon can still
Yeah.
the moon can still go through past
How
it.
did they get that in there?
What, the sun and moon?
Yeah.
Well, you're asking me questions that I just couldn't possibly answer. You know, like and
In an eclipse, the moon passes in front of the sun, cuts out the light.
okay.
How?
Say that again.
If they are, well, if one's here and one's here,
Well-
how?
Okay, that it passes. What we're not saying that they're the same height or not. We're not. No one suggested that.
No, they have to have the ability. If they circulate around each other, they have to have the ability for one, the moon to pass in front of the
Okay,
sun.
so and that does that not happen? Okay, does that not happen?
Well, not according to that theory.
But in what way? I haven't given you the height dimension to that.
Always running away.
Height is this way.
Okay, and I have not done that. Well, yeah. So one could be higher than than the other, and then when it goes right, you get that, don't you? And then one goes underneath.
Latitude as opposed to
Okay.
Causes lunar eclipses.
completely different.
Yeah.
This is what we observe to be the Earth going between the sun and the moon.
Yeah, we're working on that one.
Fabulous. Fair enough.
We haven't got it all figured out.
That's right. If I'm joining say I don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, well, no, I'm happy to say I don't know. I mean, like, I'm certainly not going to bullshit you with stuff that I don't know. Which one?
This one. But
In what way? Have you? Did you ever see that before they took it down? It's a site that you can go to.
I didn't see the website, but it's using wrong numbers. It's not using wrong numbers.
Well, what it is, until we started, because I mean, this was a true representation of what's actually
That's
happening.
the actual Earth temperature data.
Yeah.
Taken as an average. Or
Well, I don't know. We never produced a site. It's nothing to do with flat Earth and all that. This is kind of like some.
That's fair enough.
I forget what the name
You
of this.
really need to verify your data. If you
Well, no, they've taken it down now. The second that we all started verifying it, they took that bit off.
did you not? Okay, so do you not use the Wayback Machine or?
Oh yeah, we've still got past. We've got little bits of data from the past.
Then you can still verify it.
How do we verify such a thing? How would?
verify any of it.
Well, no. How would we verify that? What's it? Them numbers.
So what you do is.
This is what I'm saying is that flat earthers didn't produce this. This is like kind of like your side produced that. Sorry, I don't know what to say. What, yeah, the globe side.
Globally.
No, I'm not going to insult you.
There is a term.
Earlier on.
No.
Yeah, I don't care if you call us globally.
Yeah, I'm sure some guys have got a few names. I won't say.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'd love to know what you call.
Okay. Right. Sorry, they just call them globe heads.
Lopez.
That's all
Right,
it is.
fair enough.
And a year and a half ago, I was a globe head.
Flat head. Like,
Well, no. I'll tell you what. Some globe heads call us flatheads.
okay,
So
that's fair enough.
that's fair.
As long as we have a common term of reference. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
But yeah, right, you asked me how I can get a shadow that's smaller than the thing casting a shadow.
Yes.
Have a larger light source than the object casting the shadow.
Yes.
Place a piece of paper underneath it.
Okay.
You'll see that as you move the smaller object closer and further away from the source, you'll see the shadow changes size. And if you aim it just right, then the shadow will be smaller than the single object of the casting light.
Are you okay to give your name or?
Not at all.
No, okay, that's fine. That's okay.
my name, phone number?
No, I don't want anything like that. I just wanted to when you come on and we're talking to you about this sort of stuff, because I can guarantee you some people here are going to want to.
That's going to be great. Yeah.
They're going to want to try this.
Do it. Please
Excellent,
do it.
excellent, good.
We're moving house. We'll be probably on next week, maybe the week afterwards.
All right, okay.
My name's Peter John Bailey.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you.
It was good again. It's Jason.
Jason.
All right. All right.
Right, I do have to go.
All right. No problems. Would you like a leaflet?
Right, no, I'm good.
No. Okay.
Can we
Thanks a
speak-
lot.
We're from the local media. Can we speak to you?
Yeah. Of course you can. Yeah.
So, We're rolling. So, my name is Mike Smallcombe, reporter for Cornwall Live, and we've got with us, is it Eric?
No, it's not Eric. It's I'm not sure you got Eric from. It's Jason. Jason
This is
Disbury.
Eric there.
Ah, right. No, this is. Oh, you haven't done no research then, have you?
Sorry?
This is Eric Dubay, who he's done this great video called 200 Proofs Earth is Not Spinning. Eric
okay.
Dubay.
So, what are you doing in the centre of Truro today?
Okay, so we're doing a little bit of science demonstrations to people, asking science questions,
Right.
And mostly about the world that we live in. Is it
And you
flat?
think it's flat?
Well, I know that land I shouldn't be able to
So
see.
you think it's flat?
I know it's flat.
Right,
It has
okay.
to be
So
flat.
you know
How
it's
does
flat.
how does water behave?
So, why do you want to tell these people?
Oh, because well, yeah. I mean, like because that's what, as a grown adult, I should be allowed to do. I should be able to talk to people, and I should be able to have them challenge me and me challenge them.
Okay.
And that's it. You know, we're asking people not to believe in scientism or into this religious science. You know, to have faith and belief in this science. We're asking people to critically think for themselves.
You've held this belief since the age of...
No. A year and a half ago, I believed without any proof whatsoever all of science, even gravity. I believed, and now I think as an adult now, when I have the ability to critically think for myself, I want to challenge
for a
certain
while.
things. A year and a half, just a year
You
and a
haven't
half.
been an adult for a year and a half.
No, I'm critically thinking now. You know,
Okay.
you know, someone brought this to my attention now, and I think that I should be able to challenge this.
And people that think you're a bit naive, what would you say to those people?
Well, they're the ones that haven't examined the evidence, isn't it? So I would say, you know, like if anyone thinks that I'm naive, I think that you should examine the evidence, research flat Earth. That's what I think. Wouldn't it be best
so
to
why is
question?
it dark in Australia when it's not dark in London?
We believe that the sun and the moon are much closer.
But the
We
sun
don't
will be
believe-
shining on the entire flat Earth.
Not
isn't it?
necessarily. If I hold a torch here now, would you be able to see this in Exeter?
Yeah, but the sun is above us as such.
Well, okay. I mean, like, okay. If I put it above me, would it shine in Exeter?
Oh, so you think the sun can't reach certain
We-
places?
so we- so we-
Australia's always dark.
So I never said that. You're assuming. Okay. So in the north, okay, when we have our sun that circles us, we have this 24-hour sun.
Right.
So in our summer, we can see a 24-hour sun. There is footage here of it going round, okay?
Yeah.
And then as it comes into our winter, so the sun starts going towards the south, okay? And then Australia gets their sun, their summer, and we get our winter as starts going away.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the sun, Australia has sunlight whether it's winter or summer.
Sorry, say that again?
Australia gets sunlight whether it's
Yeah,
winter or
but I didn't say that. I didn't say it didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I never said it didn't. I'm just saying that we're talking about kind of like seasons there. But
So
what
when
I was
it's dark in
suggesting
London,
is
where's the sun?
what I was suggesting is that if the sun is in the north, okay, and we can evidence and have a 24-hour sun, you can go up north and then you can get your films out and you can evidence it. And there's lots of people got footage of this 24-hour sun. When it goes south and it's going round, okay.
So you've got four south, haven't you?
So what we're saying, well, no, south is all around us. So what we're saying is that there is no 24-hour sun evidence in the south, and there should be. Should there not?
If we fly from London to Sydney and you just carry on going, where would you end up?
We don't know.
Why don't
But-
you ever go?
It would be great. Can you pay for it for us? We'll do it for you. Would it cost a lot?
What, to fly from here to Australia?
Yeah, well, you didn't say Australia. You said just keep going. Would you do that for us? Would you fund it?
Why don't you do it?
Well, I haven't got the funding for it. I'd love
If I
to.
had this belief, I'd really want to know.
Well, I still haven't got the funding for it, regardless of what I believe. I haven't got the funding. But all I'm saying is that there is no footage for this 24-hour sun in the south. Do you think there ought to be?
What's
Do you think there should be footage of a 24-hour sun in the south?
Not really, no.
Really? Oh, right, because science, Antarctica, they say it should be there.
Right. So we've got penguins all around us, have we?
I don't know, have we? I'm asking you. Because I don't know, I've not been.
I know we haven't, but you think we did.
I don't know, you just said that. You're putting words in my mouth. I never said that.
So, how many people have you managed to convince today?
We don't convince anyone. We're not about that. We're about bringing people
Let me
to
rephrase. How many people
critically
have you
think,
managed to,
to critically
in your
think for
eyes,
themselves.
change their perception?
I would imagine probably. I would imagine.
Stay alone in
I would
Truro.
imagine 50% of the people that come and talk to us with an open mind
Right.
will check out further evidence. 50%. You know, but there is 50% that are so closed-minded that won't examine any further. Their cups are full. There's no room for further investigation. Where are you on that?
What do you get? What do you get out of doing events like this?
We're on a UK tour.
Yep.
We're doing 53 cities and towns. What do I get? I feel like it's my right to shout the loudest to let people know that they are being lied to when it comes to NASA showing you images of Earth when it's clear and very clear to us that no, we didn't go to the moon.
What would be in it for NASA to bother?
What would be in it for it? I don't know. Well, one day we'll get them to go to court. I mean, there's a good chance that, you know, it could be money. I don't think so. I think it could be the fact that they're all part of a big global conspiracy. I don't know. No one's been taken to court.
There's so many different.
No, well, we're asking for a why sort of. We need to examine the evidence first. I mean, like, but yeah, and I'm sure that will come once we get someone on the stand.
Do you think the effort it would take to come up with such a global conspiracy?
The effort. When you say effort, I mean, like, we had the Manhattan Project, but we had the Manhattan Project, and there was 100,000 people all kept in the dark. They didn't even know what they were building.
But that was years. The technology today, global communication.
Okay.
And the way, you know, you can't keep any kind of links.
You don't think so?
It's very easy to get. We're talking about the planet. We're talking about billions and billions of people living around the planet.
Okay.
And you're saying that this is a global conspiracy.
So why is NASA faking footage? You tell me. I'm asking you why.
You're saying now.
Why? Well, no. I can show you thousands of images of green screen technologies. People on wires and that.
But you can't prove the link between them.
No, they are faking space.
Surely during the Cold War.
Okay.
Well, they were both in agreement about that, were they?
Who?
Earth was round.
Who
The
was?
Soviet Union and the Americans. So during the Cold War, they had different satellites.
Okay.
So we don't believe. Oh, actually, we
no.
disagree on everything apart from we both agree it's round.
Well, we don't know. We know that they didn't go to space. How could they possibly go to space? You know, like, where did the propulsion come from? Newton's third law: for every action there has to be an equal reaction. So how does propulsion work in space?
But if it's a global conspiracy, why did the Russians not call out the Americans? Why did the Americans not call out the Russians?
I don't know. That's a great question.
And how much? I don't mean to be condescending here or whatever, but how much of your time does this take? This.
I've devoted everything for the next 2 months or so. Absolutely everything. 24 hours a day.
Daily, like, how much do you think about
24 hours a day at the moment.
You are, in your view, being conned. Well, not you.
Well, no. It's just I'm trying to tell you guys that you are flat earthers, whether you like it or not. You just haven't. You haven't researched. You're just completely in denial, and you haven't researched. You have this 100% knowing belief. It's a given, but yet you can't prove to me that we live on a globe. There is nothing that you can say.
It's not that expensive
Okay.
to hire a plane and go from literally, we're talking about going from here
Right.
to here.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's not that expensive. We don't need minutes.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I will say something right now that you'll edit out, and you won't put it on your report because I know so. So I'll show you. This is spherical trigonometry based on Pythagoras' theorem. Okay. So there has to be a calculation for going over, over the Earth, yeah? Mm-hmm. The calculation is called, it's 8 inches per squared mile drop. Okay, it goes from 8 inches to 32 inches to 72 inches. Why are we seeing land and objects? One of the biggest proofs. Why are we seeing land and objects? Okay, this is it was in the Blackpool Gazette. Stood on Blackpool Promenade, 65 miles away. You can see Snaefell. You can see the Isle of Man, and that's meant to be all hidden under 2,000 feet of curvature. And yet, 2,500 feet should be hidden under curvature, and the highest mountain is 2,000 feet. Why can we see this land?
But obviously, no matter what I say, no matter what you say,
it always glosses over.
My day will go on. I will sleep tonight, whether it's a flat Earth or a round Earth. But why?
Because
why can't you sleep?
Because your cup is full, and mine is half empty. I have the ability to want to know more, but you've decided it's a given. It is a ball. I don't need any explanations. At 5 years of age, this globe was presented to you, and then you never investigated it further. And if you did, you would know. And all I'm saying is that this is 273 miles, okay, and 3 miles should be hidden. 3 miles, and you can see land.
But it's very simple to get in a plane and fly in one direction.
Again,
if you fly from here and keep going, and you will come around.
Sorry?
You just will come around.
Okay, so if I say I'm going to keep this as a heading, I'm going to say north, 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 north. Excuse me, north, north, north. Yeah, north, yeah, north. That's a heading, and I just sailed around the continents. You are not a ball. Do you see what I'm saying? No one flies in a straight line. They fly and they sail to headings.
And you fly
Okay.
in towards Australia or wherever.
Okay.
And you keep going. You will come back to where you were.
That sounds great. Who's done that?
Just one of the things.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
You know how long a long haul flight
Right, you guys are
So
reporters.
do the penguins.
You guys are reporters, okay?
Antarctic.
No, so I'll get there. I'm getting there, and I'm getting there. You guys are reporters. You've got great investigation techniques, okay? Find out for yourself who sailed or flew over which expedition. I mean, of all the people that want to do these expeditions, who went and flew right over the South Pole and come back? Who did it?
1974, was it?
So, oh yeah, we heard that. We will be investigating that. Okay.
We're not talking millions. All the flat earthers around the globe.
You mean let's have some sort of union, all club together, and let's pay for £100,000 worth of.
Hire a Cessna or whatever.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. But what about the Antarctic Treaty? Were there letters?
Yeah.
53 countries have signed the Antarctic Treaty.
Flat Earth for the rest of the time.
Excellent, that'd be brilliant. You know, like 53 countries have signed this Antarctic Treaty that says that I can't go there, and if I do, I'll be arrested. Okay, 53 countries. I didn't write that down. 53 countries say this. Antarctic Treaty.
But you don't have to go over the Antarctic.
In what way?
You know, avoid it.
Avoid it?
But you mean the theory is the same. You don't have to fly over one specific spot. You know, like you get the idea. If you keep going long enough, you will either reach. What is this? That's kind of my point. Is what happens in your theory? You don't have to go around the block.
Okay.
So if you fly
To just
from
keep
here
going.
and you fly that direction, what happens?
That'd be excellent. That's what we want to do.
Why don't we do it? It's 2018. How far is this?
Exactly, and that's what we'd like to do.
is here.
Yeah, I mean, because all you guys are talking about it, but who's going to allow us to do this, and where's this funding come from?
You say funding like you need millions and billions.
Well, I mean, like I don't know, to hire a jet fast enough with enough range, a 6,000 mile range. That's about £50,000 to hire that one.
That's nothing in today's terms.
Well, I can't afford that this week.
You can't. Think of the amount of backing that you seem to have.
In what way? Well, you don't have this large amount of backing.
No, but the number of people there are.
By the way, how thick is the?
Don't know.
This bit here?
No, I won't bullshit you with stuff that I don't know.
What's underneath?
I haven't the foggiest.
No?
I haven't the foggiest. I mean, like, it's just things that we just don't know yet. And they might not be in underneath. It might actually go on forever. It may be infinite. We just don't know. I mean, like, we accept that space is infinite, do we? And yet, really, I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, like, right? Oh, I'm glad of that, because that is up for debate. You know, there's something that it's an ever expanding, something that it's shrinking back. It's on some sort of elastic band. But these are all theories with no proof. And that's what science seems to be run on at the moment. Everything is a theory.
We're able to present the evidence all around Earth. But space obviously is so much bigger that we haven't got the capability to travel far enough to be able to.
Well, I was taught kind of that, but like, it's how can we prove any of this? I mean, you're accepting it. You're accepting. So most people that believe in space and what NASA is doing for us and that, you kind of believe all this is real without any proof whatsoever. It's just faith in someone else, faith, a belief. We're asking for hard evidence. We want facts. We're saying we just don't want to lie down and believe all this rubbish no more.
See here that it says your belief is backed by solid science and undeniable visual evidence.
Well, is that not undeniable visual evidence? Land that you shouldn't be able to see. Okay, I mean, like 273 miles, and that 3 miles should be hidden of land that you can see. Is that not undeniable? When I'm stood on Brixton Beach, I'm on the beach and I get my zoom camera and I zoom straight over to Exmouth. I can see people on the other side on the beach. Why is that allowed? Why is that happening when it should be under 40 feet of curvature? Shouldn't be seeing anyone on that beach.
Well, it's been brilliant to debate. Obviously, people that believe in around Earth have one view, you have another. And we could go on forever, but it's been good to talk to you, and thank you for your time.
There you go. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, mate.
And you. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
All right then, buddy.
Cheers.
All right, guys.
What was your name again?
It's Jason Disbury. Disbury.
Thank you very very much.
All right then. If you need a press pack, we've got one for you. Email me, jason@disbury.com. DISBURY. Okay. Oh. Well, that was difficult. Now you get to see, guys. You know, like let me just put you in. Now you get to see how you're slammed with 1,000 questions all at once, and they just edit it their way. You know, like. So it's difficult talking to these guys. You know, I didn't even see them come and just jumped out of nowhere and went, "Give me all this information." Yeah, and I think you can see Harry's still talking to a reporter now. Yeah, I could have done it. I felt like I could have done a better job. But I'm still learning, and who knows, you know, like, I'll get better and better. Would you like a leaflet, sir? You okay? Do you want one?
Yeah, sure.
Of course, there you go. If you have any questions, give us a shout. Right, so here you go, guys. This is Truro. I believe this is, you know what, I don't even know if it's day 5, day 6. I think it's day 6, is it? Don't know, I forgot now. Put under a little bit of pressure with the reporters, you know. Day 6, thank you, Roxanne. So the wind has actually calmed down a little bit. When we got here, the wind was horrendous. And these banners were acting like kites, they were. So what you need to do is, if you ever get any of these banners, you need to make sure you're all pretty well strapped down. So, alright buddy, just let me know. Any questions, give us a shout. Yeah, so as you see, I'm trying not to pounce on too many people. Normally when you turn around and say, if you've got any questions, you know, like give us a shout, they'll approach you, and that's okay, you know, unless I feel as though I should pounce on them.
No, because if you're thinking about something new, you'd be basing it on some kind of basis from yeah. But if you're thinking of something completely wild and new, well, anything doesn't really matter. Something that's unknown. This is what I mean. Something that's unknown to you. Yeah, it's debatable, but I think I would. This is kind of where I'm going to. No, is the answer, because even if you're going to
Just going to show you some parts of the banner. I suggest you watch back and pause if you want to read some.
However, this is then we start.
If it's 93 million miles away, I can get actually the same as it is here. Because the Earth is so far away, it's 93 million miles away. So it's like constant. And wherever it hits on the surface.
Now we've got clouds.
No, but I mean, whereas it hits those clouds, it should come through them like that. Because yeah, but that's the
clouds contain moisture, so like
when you look at the horizon, there happens to be a long horizon like that, you'll get it in one place. You should have it in all of this. So that shows the second.
As I say, we put these here. You know, we do tell people that this isn't our model, that this is a explanation of how close we're suggesting the sun and moon could be, and how seasons would work, and where north and south and where east and west works. It's just an explanation. We do make that clear to people. So I know there's been quite a lot of people talking about the AE map not being correct, and hey, look, I kind of agree. I think it's got problems, but It's the best thing that we've got at the moment to work with. I think it should be used to work with. You okay? Alright. They're still busy here. Oh God. Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking talking to the media, you know. I'd say Harry's doing really well. The problem is, I mean, like the media, he's coming with lots of buys, and you know, it's like he should be coming here asking questions and trying to find out what Harry knows, not trying to convince him what he knows. I mean, what sort of reporting is that? So. I think we got a chap here. I'll have to have a little talk. You all right? So
Yeah.
you was talking to him about...
Yeah, sorry. I tried to prove it was round from about 3 years ago. I don't know if it's flat, but we ain't living on the ball.
Very good. So,
Because it could be completely different, especially,
yeah.
you know.
Okay.
It could be because I'm not allowed to go and check.
I was just saying that just before.
I can't check.
And yet,
so
well,
for me to say it is flat, it's proper
Yeah,
not
yeah.
right statement.
that's right.
Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Because I'm not allowed to go to Fantastic,
Yeah.
and I'm not allowed to go to the North Pole, which is where I'd really like to go to.
You know what?
Because everybody's got this distraction of what's going on in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a dome there. I want to know what's going on in
Yeah. See, I want guys like you to go because I don't like the cold.
Yeah, but it's warm.
Is it warm? Is
It's
it?
supposed to
Okay.
be warm at the North Pole.
Really?
Because you find these old things about the North Pole going way back.
Yeah.
And when they went there, it goes cold. And if you look at some places, really northern latitudes now, there's tundra and stuff. It's warmer than what you think.
All right.
Not like Antarctica.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
Yeah, and there were Paradiso, Agartha, and all these places with this old metallic magnetic rock in the middle.
Right.
And where do you think the northern lights come from?
That's
Where
right.
do you think the tides
Yeah, and
come
stuff like
from?
that makes sense. Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
does.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't get as worried.
I need to look into far more of that side of
It
it.
goes on and on,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
exciting.
Well, because we have to know. Oh God, we have to know everything. There's so much of this that we need to know
I
about.
started about 4 years ago and said, you know, the Federal Reserve is private. And
Yeah.
it started with that.
That's right. Yeah.
And then everything just opened up.
Yeah. I kind of started with money and Freeman, and you know,
What's Freeman?
you know, like what's it? The fact that my mum was sold me into slavery by
it's your
having my
birth
birth
certificate.
certificate and things,
Yeah.
and
Your
you know, like
name is in capitals.
That's right.
You're
And
a chattel of the corporation.
okay, yeah, there
Of
you
your
go.
future
So-
taxation.
Right. So, did you watch the film The Straw? Was it Straw Man? Was it called?
I don't know. I've watched so much.
You've
stuff.
done stuff, yeah, okay.
So-
Well, I'm very new to all of this, very new. You know, like I just felt as though I've got to come out and share this with people, and
Good for you.
you know, and let
no,
people.
I got this book actually.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen that, yeah.
It's very interesting on the screen though, because those people are the first thing they see before they can speak or think for themselves is a ball.
Yes.
So it's already wired in there.
That's
and
it.
their
We are
ego won't let it go.
programmed so early.
Ego won't let it go.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
And it's a question of, and of course you call it conspiracy theories
Yes.
or fake news now.
Sorry, fake news.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you live locally here?
Yeah, I live in Florida.
Excellent. Did you know that we were coming today?
No.
Oh, right,
I just
okay.
saw your time.
Excellent. Should I leave it there?
Yeah, that's really cool.
There you go. Any questions? I'm here. Yeah. So we're travelling on a UK tour. We're visiting. I think it's 53 cities and towns around the country, to Ireland, to Scotland, and most of England and that.
Yeah. And you probably find all your friends won't get it. Your friends don't get it.
Oh no, you're quite right.
Your friends and family don't get it.
I
They
don't.
won't look at it.
I don't think I can tell you one friend that gets it. So you're dead right there.
But you can't convince them. You can plant
No,
seeds.
that's
And then
it.
you
That's
find
what
out
this
about
is.
3 or 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
say, you know bollocks to this. I'm going to
Yeah.
look into it for myself.
There you go.
And they do. And you go years and years and years.
Yeah. People think we're trying to convince people, and they're like, "We're certainly not." I mean, like, this is a seed. This is just let people
Did you
say
see
that. This...
Globebusters put out a $10,000 reward last week?
Was it them that did that? I
Yeah.
did see it. Yeah, I didn't
For
realise it was.
anybody who could prove curvature,
Yeah.
or if we're moving.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they'll fail on the move and that. Yeah. No, they'll always prove curvature. They just use fisheye lenses. It's dead easy.
GoPros.
GoPros.
But yeah, because Yeah, because you've got the Michelson-Morley experiment,
So the
you've got the Sagnac
Sagnac,
experiment,
yeah.
1905.
Aries failure.
Aries failure.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've done all that. You've done your research. No,
No, it goes on and on because the more you find out, the more you don't know.
Yeah.
I do a lot of medical stuff.
Yeah.
Medical industrial.
Oh well, I've just started.
Two new hips.
Yeah.
About 3 years
Oh, I've
ago.
seen the documentary on hips, the robbing, thieving bastards. You know, like that's lots of people have been, getting fits and all sorts by putting the wrong metals in there or something. I forget what it's called.
I'm well into that. I'm trying to heal myself.
Yeah.
No, and you too. Thank you very much for spending this time.
I know you hit some of these people.
Hang on, I'm just going to film.
No, again, it's just the way I can't grow as an individual and research them if I don't.
He's just finishing up, I think. So we'll get we'll get the lowdown from Harry how it went.
Thank you very much. I'll have a look at this film. And I'll have a look at it may never change my mind, but at least I'll be able to develop and have a slightly better.
Seems like an open-minded reporter there.
Yeah, but there aren't many left, are there?
No. Well, no, because as Harry says, they'll speak to the editor. They might do a genuine report and that.
Or open.
Yeah.
You won't get printed.
Tell us how that went, Harry.
What a pleasurable young man. Initially he told me to turn the camera off because he didn't want to be filmed, so we got in a bit of an altercation where I said, you don't have any right to ask me to put the camera off. Yes, but nicer. And what she did, he asked nicer, so I just recorded his voice and audio rather than visual. But yeah, he turned out to be incredibly nice and open-minded, and what a pleasure it was. One of the most pleasurable conversations I've had. See him again, there's not a film.
Did you think it was a bit odd that both reporters arrived exactly at the same time from different places? They must have been meeting in a pub round the corner, I thought.
They're not hiding in the corner. Where is this from?
I'm sure that, I don't know. I will look at the footage and see if they introduced themselves, but they caught me so quick and off guard. I was like, I was a deer in headlights. I was.
So they didn't give you any reference of who you were reporting for?
No. Mine was a little bit quite abusive, you know. Yeah, as in, you know, like quite argumentative.
Yeah.
So
looks like they had an agenda then, did it? Rather than
on mine, yeah.
They weren't impartial, which
no, not mine was. Very biased he was. Oh yeah, did you speak to this guy? Did you?
What guy?
This chap here. Did you have a?
No. Do you mind if I ask you what your response is to look at this?
I already got it. Yeah, sure, go on. Go on.
You're going to tell me to switch that camera off.
No, you're cool.
Yeah, so what's your initial response to seeing what's on here today?
I already woke up about 3 years ago.
Oh, I always see everybody who's...
So, yeah, about 3 years ago, someone told me the Federal Reserve of America is a private controlled central bank.
Printing money out of thin air?
Yeah, printing money out of thin air. I thought, no, and that was the start of it. So then I started to question everything I've ever been taught in my life. And so when this came up about 3 years ago, I thought, I'm going to prove them wrong, I'm going to find out.
Like most flat earthers do.
Well, I don't know if I'm a flat earther, but I don't believe the earth is round. We live on a ball. I cannot prove that the earth is flat, necessarily, because I'm not allowed to go to Antarctica, and I'm not allowed to go to the Arctic. So I will be stopped.
Do you want to look at that? That's good stuff. Yeah, so go on. There's my website in there. Just watch out a few videos.
I don't like to say I'm bad, right?
I have to keep a little bit of myself open.
Yes, because no matter what you think, it really is interesting.
Yeah. Which I think is a better way of putting it. So, yeah, that's the way I am, and I can't everything. But yeah, I find it very interesting, and I like things from waking up and looking at themselves. I think it's really great. But a lot of people, they have to give up their ego, because before they can think for themselves, they're thrust the ball in school.
It's difficult for people to admit themselves will be fooled. As the ego stops them admitting.
Yeah, it's your beliefs. And as they say in the Matrix, you know, we don't wake people up after...
Yes, intense, I seen it.
55. I thought it was pretty cool to wake up. Oh, well done. No, I was 55 and I thought, wow. Because if you try and wake certain people up, it's really dangerous. Because
I was really hoping for many other subjects, so it was quite easy when it came to this subject. Why wouldn't you like that as well?
So I find that quite interesting. And of course my friends and family find it really hard. So I just plant seeds and leave it, and I have one or two who actually come back to me and it's like, That's interesting, that. And they say, well, do you do the experiment with the moon? You know, with the two thermometers. You know, you put one in the shade and one in the direct glare, and then you find the one in the shade is colder, is warmer than one in direct glare. Well, how can that be if the moon is a direct reflection of the sun's light and heat?
There you go.
Crazy.
You're obviously a dangerous man, you are. You're using thinking too much.
But anyway, so that's me. So, so just stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really pleased you got this.
Oh, fantastic. I'll just give you a YouTube channel.
Oh, perfect. Excellent.
You don't mind
Thank
we'll use that for a YouTube channel. It's
No,
great
no.
meeting other people who already know about the subject out in the streets. So
Do you meet many today?
Yep, 3 or 4.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll only be
You
here
only
about
need
an hour.
like you know like 100 monkeys, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've heard
Once you
that.
get enough people flip, and everybody then they realise it's so important, because once they realise they've been lied to about this,
Yeah.
then everything collapses.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
that's right.
the financial system, the medical industrial complex,
Yeah.
you know, all of it.
Do you know anybody else in your life that also aware of what's going on?
No. And my friends take it, or starting to believe it, but it's taking time. But most of them, no. I say, I try, you know, it's like Fight Club, don't mention Fat Earth. First rule of Fight Club is don't mention Fight Club.
All right,
Don't mention it.
Well, thank you very much for your
Oh,
time.
you're more than welcome, sir.
That's
there you
brilliant.
go. What's your name?
My name's Paul, or
Paul.
Charlie.
And this is
You can call
Jason
me
and
Charlie.
Harry. All right, that's nice to meet you. There you go. Well, that was nice. There's someone in Truro that is switched on. Brilliant. Oh, so you can see where we've been having wind problems here. We're all strapped down. This is Truro, day 6. It's quite spectacular here. It's a nice place it is, Truro. I do like. There you go. Not sure what time we're here till. I think maybe the wind and weather might tell us what time we leave. All right. See what I'm saying? Harry's just gone from the reporter to Paul or Charlie, straight on to another guy. You got to hand it to him. He doesn't give in for a second. Yeah. Give them a little bit of space. All right, nice talking to you.
Oh, I need to get up.
Yeah.
There's tractors.
Right.
Thank you. It's always been fine with you.
So what I'm doing here now is called it's fishing. So I stand looking at something, and lots of people do the same. Yeah, she's going to have a look. Oh, almost got run over there, didn't hear. There you go. I hope she hears the fan coming. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Nearly got run over by parcel force. Oh, I think I can give someone a leaflet. Let's go and get some leaflets. Oh. Can I give you a leaflet? Okay. If you've got any questions, give us a shout. Oh, that's it. It's only one there. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's okay.
I shall pass this information to my nephew.
Excellent.
He's doing a PhD
All right, okay.
in astrophysics.
All right, excellent. We've talked to quite a few people in astrophysics.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot that we don't kind of understand, and we want answers. Yeah.
So what are you? What is this setup?
Well, all we're doing is trying to get people to critically think again as an adult. You know, like when you were taught at 5 years of age that you lived on a globe that probably never challenged it ever again, because it was given, isn't it? Just decided that it's real.
Apart from if you with Galileo, who just said that the Earth was round, and the Catholic Church.
Can we trust them? Do governments and science and education?
Can you trust the Catholic Church because they said the Earth was flat?
Well, I'm saying actually, it starts.
Which one do you trust?
It starts off from Aristophanes. He said that he came up with the circumference of the Earth, which was kind of based on, I think back then, that they believed that the sun was 12 million miles away. Okay, but all his angles and calculations from his obelisks or shadows on sticks, or from Cyan to Alexandria and that. They're all based on a particular angles, but the sun was a lot closer that he thought. But anyway, so based on that, we know the circumference of the Earth. But when you go back and you verify that for yourself, is there any record of this guy ever existing? Is there any scrolls? Is there any statues? Is there any? I don't know. Is there any sort of evidence? And there's nothing. There's no books. There's no writings.
Certainly Galileo existed, and there are plans which I have actually seen.
Could they? Is it possible that they could be deceiving us?
I don't know.
So we're just asking. We're asking questions, and we want evidence.
But then there's an awful lot of other things.
Yes.
You can prove or disprove anything if you've really got a mind to it.
Right. Okay. We've got a mind, but we're asking questions. We just want answers. Pass that on to him.
You're asking questions of thousands of people who are employed in sending up these satellites.
See, we don't believe they're actually putting them up. We believe that they're building them. We believe that we know that we see rockets go up, but then we see the rockets like curl over, and then we see them start coming back down. And we're saying, why don't we ever see this footage of this rocket going all the way into space? Okay, and then it's one of the greatest journeys of mankind.
As it curves, it hits the
stratosphere,
and
then it starts curve, and then it appears to us as though it's coming back down again. And it's very odd footage when we see that, and we're saying it doesn't seem real, and then we're presented with sort of CGI cartoons when we watch it on TV.
So you've also seen the film of the moon landings.
The funny thing happened on the way to the moon?
Oh, funny, yes.
So what did you think of that? So you watched it. What did you think?
It was actually filmed in a warehouse, isn't it?
So what was your? Do you believe that they went to the moon?
I think it's as plausible as the actual moon landing film itself.
Because I've looked into all of the anomalies, like the shadows, the waving flags.
I actually remember, I'm old enough to remember the first broadcast of the landing on the moon.
Yeah.
If the engine stopped,
and there was
the
one
weight of that plane
shot
fall.
of the film, which was only shown once and never again, and that was
But the engines.
The engine gets it off the ground.
What you're telling me is you only agree with gravity and force in.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
And it was only shown once.
Oh, where is gravity? If I drop this camera to the ground, people go, oh, the force.
That was just the wind.
But the thing is, a lot of our pictures and photographs of Earth, they're coming from NASA, most of our, and other science agencies now. And how can we trust this when I would have to say 99% of all, because I can't speak for them all, 99% of all flat earthers, we know that the moon landings were faked. There's too much evidence, the overwhelming amount of evidence. So how can we ever trust them?
More in favour of fake
yes.
than there is in truth.
Yeah, well, there is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're saying that gravity somewhere.
Okay.
it doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, I mean, Henry Cavendish, he tried to do out experiments on it using lead balls in a barn, and then he goes into his kitchen with a telescope and he sees them coming closer. But we can't recreate that one. It doesn't work. And lots of universities, they struggle with it. They can't get it to work. And we're just saying that if that's the only evidence that gravity is real, because it's still the theory of gravity, 2018, it's still the theory of gravity. Do you not think that it should be proved to us now? And what is it? And science can't even tell you what it is. They just say, well, we can show you what it does, but they don't know what it is themselves. And that's the thing. I mean, and then Einstein had a problem because Newton's gravity didn't fit in with his he was doing a paper all about the planets and all that, and they weren't behaving according to his gravity of Newton. And then he developed his own Einstein, the general relativity, the bending of time and space. He developed that. And what he did is he took away the ether, back then. And now we don't have an ether because Einstein said so.
But there is something out there.
Yes, of course, there is something. We'll agree on that. There's something there. I mean, we see. I look up, I see something.
I mean, you do see the stars.
And I've seen the moon, and yeah, I see things. Well, I have another problem with the planets, and this will annoy your nephew. Things like Mercury and Pluto and like Neptune and things. Well, that's been debatable for a long time. That one, but they changed it again, have they?
It was a planet in 1932.
Yeah.
It's now been taken away from being
right.
a planet, but they are debating whether it should be a planet. But apparently there's about 110,000 other asteroids out there, which could also be.
But I have a problem with all this because I know what all of these planets look like. In my mind, I could probably draw them and put the correct colours on and things like that. But we've got no photographs of these. All we've got is CGI footage. We've got. I challenge you to look again. We've got CGI cartoons. Go on.
I shall ask Simon about this.
Yes, please do. Please do.
He claims that he has actually taken photographs of
lights in the sky.
No, planets and asteroids and various others.
All right. Okay. I want you to look at them. Ask him for the footage. Ask him for some pictures, and then you tell me, hand on heart, does it look like a round planet that you've got in your mind?
Well, the ones that I've seen, yes, they do.
Okay. Yeah. Which one was that?
It was one of Saturn.
Saturn. Yeah, I'm going to go for that because I have actually seen. You can make out some sort of rings there.
You can actually see it in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I see something like that. I mean, whether I can call that a planet, but yes, there is something there that resembles a planet. Definitely for Saturn. But
a photograph of the eye?
Well, NASA actually says
it's certainly not flat.
They say on their website they turn around and say these photographs are composites, that they are images. They do not call them photographs. They call them images. Okay, it's like, come over and see my wedding album. I'll show you all my images. All right, but yeah, I mean, like that's NASA's they're NASA's photographs there.
Yes.
2012 and 2013, 1 year apart. And you see a problem. It's the same circle, but America seemed to have shrank. That's 1 year apart on NASA's website. So we don't like that. You're going to have a long... Have a talk about the moon first. I was going to say, have a talk with him about the moon first and the funny thing. Go and show him that one first. It's nice talking to you.
You're talking to people about music. What is your purpose?
Oh, literally just to bring people's attention to this. There's a website there. We want people to watch a couple of videos, a bit like A Funny Thing Happened on the Way. Just a couple of... that might even be in there,
So it's just to get people talking?
Just talking, that's it. Yeah. Can't convince anyone in 5 minutes after years of education. No. All right. Bye-bye. All right, buddy. Would you like a leaflet? There you go. Excellent. Oh, got it? Ooh. There you go. Oh, she was lovely. She was lovely, she was. Do you want that?
Not interested.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you seem interested. You're looking.
I'm just trying to read the evidence I disagree with.
Oh well, that's okay. He's not interested, he said. But he'll troll it up for himself as long as he makes a feel. Do you like that?
I'm okay.
No, oh, good. Harry's doing okay.
They're assuming it is what it is. Now, I mean, I personally, I've lost my wife to cancer. Right? They're actually covering it up because that's actually a million pound industry where actually they're actually stopping people from actually spoiling cancer.
Yeah.
Right? And it's
Yeah, it's true. It is. It is. It's the same government. Yeah, yeah, definitely. They don't want to cure cancer. They just want to manage it and make more money.
My dad's dying now, you know.
My mum is right now.
Give him chemo, so we got him on canvas, and his PSA's dropped. He's doing well. His colours come back.
You know what? My mum's probably got weeks to live right now, and we've tried to give her cannabis oil, but she's so stuck in her ways that it's an illegal thing. We've bought what's it, the Charlotte's oil, big jar of it.
We first of all, Dad, we force fed him it, put it in his food. He didn't realise he was having it, you know. We got more green smoothies as well. So
Yeah, tried
and then
that.
once we realised, once we showed him a couple of videos in my uncle, the doctor,
Yeah.
and like he proved to me, like pharmaceutical companies haven't got your best wishes at heart.
Of course they haven't.
That's from a doctor.
Bastards, aren't they? I kind of fancy I might just do that.
Filming that, you have to delete his name out because he
Yeah.
I
I think I ought to do something like that.
yeah.
Put it in the
I've
food.
seen videos on YouTube that actually they've been around.
Yeah,
they've come down
it
to work, they visit
makes you angry with the whole system, doesn't it? People just didn't realise what's going on.
Everyone's waking up, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. Well, there you go. So they're woken up to the health industry. Do you guys like a leaflet? There you go. All right. Like a leaflet, sir? There you go. Right. So we're still getting a bit of a response. That's what I want to see. Even if they ridicule it, it means that they're having a conversation with somebody. You know, they're filming it. It might go on Facebook. It might mock it. It might ridicule it, and then there's a conversation happening somewhere. So it really isn't a problem. A leaflet? Ah, no. Oh. Would you like a leaflet?
Hey, thank you.
No, that's okay. Right, so sad that, you know, like these guys won't even take a leaflet to want to know more. You know.
Take it that you're for all of this then.
Oh yes. I mean, I was going to show you a leaflet that there's land that you shouldn't be able to see. A lot of land that you shouldn't be able to see at all, and people don't realise that there should be a mathematical formula, curvature, you know, chart. There would have to be, you know, if we live on a ball, there would be some sort of mathematical formula for the drop of that ball, would there? And that
yeah, I suppose, yeah.
it's based on Pythagorean's theorem, spherical trigonometry. That's what that mathematical formula is. So based on Blackpool, I don't know if you know Blackpool, you can stand on the Blackpool promenade, and on a good clear day, extremely good clear day, you can see the Isle of Man. That was in the Blackpool Gazette. The highest mountain there is Snaefell, 2,000 feet, but 2,500 feet should be hidden. So why can we see land that we shouldn't be able to see? That's this is in Calais, and you can see the White Cliffs of Dover, all of it, White Cliffs of Dover. You're not meant to see it. So why can you see the White Cliffs of Dover? It should be hidden. It's over the curvature.
Yeah, but the same thing acting like, I don't know, if it's on a clear day and you go onto a beach, you can see the mountains at the end.
You're not meant to. That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Because there has to be a method. They're meant to be hidden beyond the curvature. There has to be this bulge of the sea above it. This here is 273 miles away, and you can still see land. 3 miles high. Imagine how 3 miles high would be.
Yeah.
That's meant to be hidden behind the curvature of the Earth, but we can still see land. Even like, let's say, yachts at sea, you know, like they see lighthouses in the distance and that, let's say 30 miles away. They're not meant to see them. They're meant to be well below the curvature. And then there's, there's submarines. Periscope goes up. How can you see over the curvature? It just doesn't all make sense.
Yeah, but there isn't, like you, if we look somewhere out, it's not like it's obviously saying the world is round.
24,900 miles in circumference.
But if you look out, it's not actually got like the curvature to it, because like the majority of it's the same thing if you're on a plane. It's not like you're going there and you're going down there. The plane's going to fly around the Earth, is it? It's still going to fly sort of straight.
But you say that, I mean, but if you're, let's say, in that plane and you're going to Australia, you'll accept that you have to be flying under a ball.
Yeah. You're
a ball, yeah? But they fly to the artificial horizon, you know, like the little ball thing in the plane. I don't know if you've seen one of them. They fly to that, and it flies horizontal all the way. It doesn't go invert and upside down.
Yeah, because well, it's not supposed to, is it? It's supposed to.
Is it not?
No, I don't think it's supposed to.
So if I put an artificial horizon on here and then I tip it upside down, would it invert upside down?
No, but it does. Why can't we see?
But it doesn't. So what I'm saying is that let's say that there's this guy called D. Marble, and he went. It's quite famous now. You know, like it was in all the news and all over America and that. He takes a level and that, or a phone and that, and you go on the aeroplane, and you can see this level, and you can see it ascend when it goes up, and then it flies off, and you can go really far, and then it come back down, and then but you don't see it kind of tilt. You don't see that, and yet. Do you know what a 24-hour timer is for a plug? Well, I built a little cradle for it, 24-hour timer, plugged it in, I got my phone, put a level, I put it down there like that, and then I watched that go up and over and round again, and you see it invert. You see the level, the bubble, and you'd expect, because if I have that now, and then just go like that, you would see it invert, wouldn't you? The bubble.
Yeah.
Okay, and you expect that's what should happen. How would your phone know the difference between that it's in my lounge or on an aeroplane? Why would it do something different than the other? It doesn't know.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, yeah.
So there's lots of things like that, you know, like it makes no sense, you know, like compasses, for instance. If you're in Australia now, where's north? So this is my compass, where's north?
What do you think, sir?
Well, on a ball and all that, it's meant to be in every sort of direction, you know, like if you're under the bottom. But I'll tell you where north is. There. Compasses don't work that way. North would be, if I'm in Australia, north is right through. Do you see? And yet, no, compasses don't work that way. Compasses only work on a flat Earth. They don't work through angles. If I want to go to China and all that, I'd have to go through an angle. They work flat. That's the way compasses work. See, that's what we get, is you guys you're inquisitive, you're talking, but that hurts them both. Yes, thank you. Did you hear that, guys? So yeah, we're just asking questions. There is a website in there for you to watch a couple of videos, and we can't change your mind. In 5 minutes. Like you know that you live on a ball. With water going right the way right round it. Water clinging to a ball. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Centrifugal force should be pushing this water off into the skies, into space, or so, if you want to call it. How can we prove that? Because I know the behaviour of water. Water finds its lowest level, and then and then will stay level, won't it? Water. It doesn't bend round balls. If I have a ball here now, I can't pour water on it and it will bend right round and stick and cling to that ball.
Yeah, but if someone leaves Earth and they go into the orbit and they see Earth, it is round.
Can you do that?
I can't personally.
No, okay.
But if we go somewhere like NASA,
right.
have someone
Do you
fly
believe in the
out. Do I believe in what, sorry?
That we landed on the moon?
No. Well, no, who?
Okay. Well, no, America, the
Apollo.
You believe the moon landings?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you to? There's a video called "A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon." Can you watch it?
Yeah.
It might change your opinion. And there's lots of other. You've heard of like waving flags on the moon and things. No blast crater. Like there's lots of different shadows that shouldn't be there, and so there's lots of anomalies. I could put if we had time, we'll sit down. We'll go through 100 anomalies about the moon landing.
Yeah, but there's like
But all our information kind of comes from NASA and space agencies related.
Yeah, but it's like you could look at, like, if someone doesn't believe that someone landed on the moon, you could look at that the same way as why did, say, the World Trade Center, like some people say a plane flew into it, it was a terrorist attack, and some people say that attack was organised by the government.
What do you think? Got feeling with the information you got so far?
I think personally that those two big buildings were knocked down because America they had no use for them. Okay. That's why they got knocked down.
And maybe a way to get us into their war or so.
Yeah, but
because I mean, there was like an obvious building 7 fell down all by itself. It didn't get struck. It didn't go on fire. It just come down all by itself. The third building. There was no, not that one. There was another. There was a third building when we had the 2 big twin towers. There was another one. Yeah, go over it again. There was another building that come down. It was like no way it got hit by anything, and it come down.
Yeah,
so all it's saying is that. Well, you would agree with me that governments lie. They do lie.
In some cases they lie. Some cases tell the truth.
So what?
There's two. There's two completely different things you're looking at here. Okay. In some cases they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
But in some cases they are telling the truth.
Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, 80% truths, 20% lies. That's kind of like what most people do.
Yeah, but it's like, as well as that, like you think that. Well, at the same time, you go back to the Twin Towers incident.
Yeah.
They've said the angle that the plane struck the tower, it should have fell that way.
Yeah.
But
as in momentum beam.
Yeah, but it's that okay.
Did you see? There's a bit of footage of the plane exiting the tower. Was it undamaged? The whole nose is all intact. There's a little bit of footage. Watch them again. It's fascinating because we're seeing evidence of pigeons and seagulls hitting the nose of a plane and complete right off of the front. Like all bent in. Is there anything that I've told you just enough to watch a couple of videos?
I will watch them.
Yeah, I can't convince you. It's not about that. You watch a couple of videos and then you go from there and you just decide for yourself. You've got all the information what we think then.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's www.festart.co.uk. Yeah. It's worth a bit. Worth a look. If you've got any other questions,
What's on the opposite side?
Haven't got a clue. Don't know.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
is this supposed to be an oblique shape rather than it's not flat?
That's what science says, and it's based on like 29 miles oblate. That's what science says. I can't prove this, but that's what they say. I mean, because I think it's to do with spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. All the waters and all that are meant to be at the equator, sort of. They say sort of getting podgy, podgy on the equator. But there's no proof to this.
This is what?
There's no proof to any of this.
No. Do you believe that it's flat? Are you trying
I know the way water behaves.
Yeah.
I know that you can't have water on a ball and spin at 1,000 miles per hour.
So it won't stay on the ball if you spin.
So it wouldn't stay on the ball anyway, would it?
No, well, why would it?
No.
How would it?
Well, mainstream science says gravity. Okay, that's the big thing. But like, what people in education don't know is that it's still a theory. It's never been proved. They haven't got a clue. Don't even know what it is. This gravity. You know, like, but they can demonstrate. They can show it, but they don't know what it is. And we're saying that. Well, hang on, we do. Please, sir. We know what it is. It's density and buoyancy. You know, so we say it's density. The molecules in this is heavier than the air around it, and it falls through, and the air underneath it wants to go on top. That's called buoyancy. It's density and buoyancy. It always has been, but they want to complicate it with.
If the Earth's flat, how large is the Earth? How deep is the Earth?
I don't know. Yeah, I can't answer that. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm not. That's a big question. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, no, we don't. No, we're not saying that at all. We haven't got a clue. And which other planets? Because we can see some planets, but the other planets, longer distance one, like Mercury, Pluto, and let's say stars, for instance, and all that. We've never seen stars. You know, like we can see luminaries. We see lights in the sky. I know what Mercury looks like. I know what Neptune looks like. I know what Pluto looks like, and that. But I've only ever seen CGI cartoons. I've never seen photographs of these. Seen CGI, and yet I know what they all look like.
Have you also heard that the moon's supposed to be a projection?
I've heard this. Do I buy into this? I will have to be an agnostic to that. I don't know that. I can't subscribe to that. And we don't know the thickness, so no.
But just say
if the Earth's flat, is the moon flat?
If the Earth is that flat,
okay,
then where's the Titanic?
Say that again.
If the Earth's that flat,
yeah,
and you've got all the sea,
yeah,
where underwater is a Titanic? If it's gone so deep,
right,
and say it's only that flat, then where is it?
Okay, well you have to tell me because you're making that assumption. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look. I mean, like we haven't got the answers for everything. I mean, certainly on the dimensions and all that, but we haven't on the globe. You were brought up the same as me, as in you believe in there's an inner core, there's a magma, there's the different layers of the Earth. Yeah. But the deepest that we've ever drilled is 7 to 8 miles. So we haven't got a clue on what's underneath you. So you're asking me what's underneath. I'm asking you what's underneath and where's your proof?
Do you believe in plate tectonics?
Well, yeah, I've heard of that. I don't, but I mean, that can happen on a flat Earth as well. Maybe there's shifting tectonics on a flat Earth. So, but I don't know if there is. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. So you know all about this, don't you?
Right. So all around the perimeter is supposed to be a massive ice wall, isn't there? Supposedly.
Some people say that there's some sort of
massive ice cliff, supposedly.
Well, we've seen evidence that there is ice cliffs, okay? Yeah. Whether it's all the way around, that's irrelevant to me because I know how a beach works, and a beach can adequately contain the sea. Yeah. You know, so whether it's an ice wall or around, but we have seen photographs and videos of that ice wall.
And if you look at some of the really, really old films, and you look at them going up on a blue, have you seen any of the old films where they're going up on a hospital?
Yes, I've seen all that.
And you see the line. I mean,
yeah.
it is flat.
It does look flat. It does look flat, and that's what. And back then they had real photography and real cameras, not this fish-eyed lenses of today. Yeah. So it seems like you're not a flat earther, but you've been looking into it.
Yeah, I've looked into it. Yeah, my mind's open.
Well, that's great because a lot of people they have their cups too full. They do.
You know, everything's just based on theory, isn't it? And as you say.
Well, I was just saying to that gentleman there, it's the land for me, land that you shouldn't be able to see past. You know, if this curvature chart is correct.
What I want to know is something else going on the underneath that we don't know about, that the rich have got access to.
Yes, and there's lots of, because we had a conversation the other day about aliens arriving and things, and I'd never believed in aliens and all that, and I just threw it out there as, you know, like, could they be aliens coming from distant lands? Yeah. You know, like, or as you just said, underneath. I don't know. I mean, I just, if people do believe in aliens, why do they have to come from space?
There's flat Earth theory and there's the hollow Earth theory as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I can't subscribe to hollow Earth. There's too much wrong. There's oh god, I don't know if you come across the Pac-Man map as well. Where,
no.
Oh god, please don't look at that.
One thing that kind of made me consider the flat Earth theory was when they spoke about an aeroplane flight that took place. And somebody on it was
pregnant,
needing serious help.
Yeah.
And rather than going directly to the place they were supposed to go, they'd done a massive.
Is it on there? Is it that one?
No, I've seen it on the
yeah.
YouTube.
Oh no, is it on there?
But anyway, what it showed you when
it
flattened it out.
Yes, it made perfect sense.
But when it wasn't flattened out, they'd done a massive detour.
Yeah.
When this woman was desperately in need of help.
That's right. It was from Hawaii to. No, it's talking to you, buddy. Yeah, from Hawaii or something. I think she ended up going to Alaska or something. Was it?
That's the only thing that
Makes sense.
really kind of makes you go, hang on a minute, why would we do that if it wasn't like that?
Yes.
And also another thing is whenever you see the map portrayed in America, it's always on the flat, and they've always got this edge around the outside.
As in
like the ice.
The Antarctic Treaty thing. Yeah.
To think about, isn't it?
There you go.
Is this going on YouTube? Is it?
It already is, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
There you go. No, I love you. Bye bye. There you go. Did I give you a leaflet? Would you like one?
No, I'll have a look, mate.
Yeah, there you go. Did any of that seem interesting?
It does. I've looked into a lot of it, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
And there's an obvious reason why all these so-called heavenly bodies are all called planets.
So, where was you? You looked in a bit of it or not? Where was you on, let's say, the moon landings, for instance?
I don't think they're real.
I
don't think they've even left the upper Earth orbit.
I 100% believed it so madly, and it would so upset me if I heard people talking like that. And
right, I seem to think if the Earth is flat, and they say you can still see the circular. No, you can't. You can see the circular edge. It's like if you take a coin, it goes upright like that. So you tilt it.
Yeah.
You can still see the curvature of that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
You can see the flat.
Yeah. I've seen people documenting this sort of what's the thing? Yeah, of course.
And like North Star never moves.
Polaris.
Hasn't moved in centuries.
This is one of my. I do a dance on this one.
Have you ever seen one of those like time-lapse photography?
Yeah. Of
all the so-called stars going round.
Yeah.
The North Star is still in the middle, and all the other stars are like trailing.
Yeah.
Long exposure, isn't it?
And what's it? Horoscopes are still used on. That never changed. Sailors can still navigate from them. The pyramids of Giza are still perfectly aligned with Orion's belt. And
what you say about navigation, there you go. There's the bloody Celtic cross.
Where?
There.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Sorry, we're at the wrong angle. I need to walk around there. I think someone did point that out before.
Navigation device.
There you go.
That circular piece used to spin.
Yeah.
So you could point one section at one star, and another section at like another star or the moon or whatever, and you can triangulate algebra. It's all from Arabic, isn't it?
I need to go and have a look.
Algebra.
I need to have a look. Let's just show these guys. There you go. I don't know if you want to look at that.
This one's very old, it's well eroded.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull this off so I can get a bit higher. And you could kind of like navigate sort of from that, or
you've seen where they like mark out like kilometres on the wheel, like the click over thing, and it click.
Yes.
It's like that.
Right.
The cross.
Yeah.
Right? And it moves from circular section.
All right.
The other line.
Astrolabe. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can tell the time and your location during the day and at night.
Right. See. You learn something new every day. So you live around here, local?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you met other people that are a little bit open-minded like yourself?
Not as many as I'd like to.
No, we've met a few. Well, you just met that lady there. Like she seems bright as a button there.
Yeah.
You'll see her one day in one of the pubs.
But see, they tell us in education, right, that the Earth is spinning, the Moon is spinning around the Earth, but the Moon is in a geosynchronous orbit, so we only ever see one
side.
Anyway. Then they say that along with the Earth and all the other bloody planets, they're going around the Sun.
Yeah.
But then the Sun is in like the universe or the galaxy. Our solar system is in a galaxy or a universe, and it's all part of an arm.
Yeah.
So we see that supposedly in the Milky Way.
Right.
But we're only like a very tiny dot on that arm. That whole thing's spinning. So why is the North Star never fucking moving?
And I keep saying, even if that's it, if we're doing all these spins and all that, all these stars are doing the same trajectories and their own different spins and that.
Even the sun is supposedly moving through the galaxy.
67,000 miles an hour.
What thing that we are spinning around is actually spinning, and it is spinning out on,
Yeah.
on elliptical orbit.
I was going to say, I made them say 500,000 miles an hour.
How come that North Star is
Still in the same.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like the light at the end of the tunnel, isn't it?
I mean, look, that, for me, that makes perfect sense. If you spoke to me on that and told me about this when I wasn't a flat earther, I would get that immediately. Of course, it makes sense. That does, you know. But people say
we're supposed to be like on this arm, right? And the arm is slipping down, and the centre of our galaxy is supposed to be like a black hole. They don't know what dark matter is, do they?
no. Oh, that's right. Yeah, dark matter, string theory. What's it? Black holes and wormholes and all. Yeah, these are theories. You've got what's it? They've got no idea what this stuff is. You know. So I'm looking at the security guy over the road there, and you spotted him, did you? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you put the cognitive dissonance in there as well.
Oh, so you're familiar with that?
Most people wouldn't even get that, let alone this.
Yeah. I did because that was my problem. Even though I kind of like agreed on all of the stuff, I was still clinging on to my ball. You couldn't take it away from me, and I was suffering so bad.
There were some guys in, I think it was South America. They shone a laser across a lake that was so vast it would have taken up the supposed curvature of the Earth by about like a mile.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't remember what the name of that one was?
No, I can't.
Oh, I'll have to look into it.
They fired a laser across this massive lake, and they could see it on the other side.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have been able to.
Yeah. I mean, they've just done FE Core's just done experiments. Is it like Ballatmore or something like that? Yeah, and again, no measurable curvature. So yeah, when we go looking for it,
they had a telescope, like one huge one for like stargazing, and they fired it out obviously across the ocean.
Yeah.
And they watched the ship as it was like going up. You see it like supposedly disappearing.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a shimmering bloody mirage.
That's it. And
it didn't go down. You could actually see the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I think it actually started to invert at some point.
There's a chap called Fouquet Word, and he does some great observations on that. Yeah. So if anyone hasn't watched that Fouquet Word, he's got some amazing video footage on all about perspective. Needs to be watched.
That guy he was talking to earlier, he was arguing, well, yeah, but if somebody left the Earth and then looked back down, you could see the curvature. And you said to me, I can't agree with it. Well, no, not me personally. So he's taking the information in from second hand.
Yeah, that's it.
He doesn't know.
No first-hand knowings, second-hand beliefs.
It's a belief,
isn't
it?
Well, that's what scientism is.
A belief.
Yeah. Got to have your faith. Yeah.
It's funny, actually, because last night I was watching that bloody, was it the Da Vinci Code thing on the telly?
It's fascinating, isn't it, when you watch these back?
And he was trying to work out what the code was, right? And he's looking around the temple chapel or whatever, or wherever like Newton's buried.
Yeah.
And he cracked the code. He said the only globe that wasn't represented in the whole of that church was the whole thing that set him off.
Yeah.
Because he was excommunicated.
Yeah.
It was the apple, and that was supposedly the code.
Yeah. I'm very wary now that I've come into this. I'm kind of wary on the programming side, like because they're subliminally, throwing little.
Oh, they do,
yeah.
It's everywhere.
It is. Let me go and grab some leaflets to give out. It's really nice talking to you. There you go. Right. You can't go away. Take a leaflet to walk away with. There you go, buddy.
See, but Newton, his famous quote was when he said like how great he was, right? He said we were standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yes.
People have done all the work before.
Yeah, and we should just submit, give up.
All they've done is translate it.
Yeah. Well, I was looking. I think it was it Globusters or Journalism? I don't know if you watched any of that, and they were talking about that. There's documentation that Copernicus was talking about gravity 150 years before gravity was mentioned in.
coming from mainstream outlets, like universities, it's been on the open universities, it's been on the DVD store.
See, he's upset. That's the problem. Look, he's got upset.
Yeah, because he's probably been through the educational system.
Yeah. I can see him.
I've heard it said like that the Earth is like a spinning ball of magma in the centre, and it's so hot. If you were making a blade, right, you have to heat that metal up to a certain temperature, right, and the way to test it is reach the required temperature to get the correct hardness before you quench it, right? Is to see if it's magnetic. Once it's reached a certain heat, it loses its magnetic.
That's right. So how can you have an iron core that's magnetic? It makes no sense.
look, I'm defying gravity again.
Yeah, again. No. I don't believe you. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, the plane's going over slowly round. I've seen it, like where like the sun is actually supposed to be closer than they say it is.
Yes.
And it's like a giant saucer.
Yeah.
And a torch shining on it, and it's going around each section. So there's day, there's night over there.
See, it kind of makes more sense, doesn't it? It really does make more sense. I'm just trying to get close to these guys here. Yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, there is the ownership universe theory whereby there is that theory whereby it's just like we live in a four-dimensional donut, essentially. So the number of stars in the universe, they could all be our stars, we just haven't got to prove it yet. There is that theory.
Yeah, but do you want to leave that? There you go. All right. Have you come across it before?
Yes.
All right. Okay. What are your thoughts?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it does. It does.
Tell me how it matters.
What to you?
No, to you.
Well, for me, I mean, obviously we're all different and all that. For me, the very thought that I've been lied to from my entire life, believing that I was on a globe, and then gravity is a real thing that can never be proven. Didn't even know what it is, but I was kidding. I was lied to that gravity does exist, and I found out lately that it was nothing more than Harry Potter wizardry, just magic. You know, like, and I kind of, I've got answers. Well, yeah, but this is why it matters to me. I've been lied to, and I've got children they're being lied to, and there's more people being lied to. It matters to me for that one reason alone. The other part of it is all of these space agencies and that are getting so many millions. I mean, NASA alone, £53 million per day, and I think it could be better spent. When I see homeless people in the streets and all sorts, as well, yes, you know, like, but it's a bigger thing for me.
More important lives.
But then the fact that the Earth is not a globe, more?
Yes.
In what way? Because for us, this is the big one, this is the huge one, and everything else will come down. Because if the government and science and education have lied to this extent,
temporary.
It's okay. It might be okay.
How long are you going to live?
Oh God, yeah. Well, that's relative, but it was. I'll say 80. I'll say 80.
You should be said about halfway through.
Okay.
Okay. So you've got another 40 years of it mattering.
Okay.
So you tell your children.
Well, then it will matter to me. Then I'm gone.
Like I said, it's
okay.
temporarily.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we should be dealing with is things that are not temporarily important, things that have importance for eternity.
Yeah, that's great. But can I do this as well, please?
But this, from a Christian perspective, this is idolatry.
Right.
Because it's taking your focus away from God.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few people who'll agree with you here now. Yeah.
So what I would suggest is, if this be important to you, look at what it is that's really important to you. Justice.
But this has brought me closer to God. I was always an agnostic and that, never believed either way, and I've started questioning these things now because I feel like everything's open for debate now, you know.
And funny enough, the Bible tells us to question all and hold to that which is good.
Okay, yeah, I've actually heard that, but yeah.
It's we're told blind faith is not what's wanted from Christ.
Right.
It's reasoned, tested, and reliable faith.
Right.
Because He is reliable.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, there are many things, statements of quantum physics in the opening passages of Genesis.
Well, there's
you can't have space without time, and you can't have matter without space.
Okay.
And you can't have matter, space, and time without mind, because we know all comes from mind. What's the opening passages of the Bible? In the beginning, statement of time.
Okay.
God.
Right.
In the beginning, God. So mind, the logos. Mind, time, space, matter.
Okay.
Even Moses was the first world's quantum physicist.
Yeah. Was he? I didn't know that.
Well, it's a statement. It's only.
All right. Okay.
2014 at CERN, the experiment proved that you can't have time without mind, and you can't have space without time, and you can't have matter without space and time and mind.
Well, I find this interesting. I'm going to have to look at this one again.
But ultimately,
yeah.
if this is what's been put on your heart by the Lord to question, what are you questioning? You're questioning for justice.
Okay.
You can't have you can't objectively justify justice or your drive without an objective Lord giver.
Yeah.
You can't morally question that anyone's doing wrong.
Yeah.
By teaching you incorrect stuff without an objective lawgiver.
Okay.
So if this is a stepping stone for faith,
might be, I don't know,
what I would
possibly.
suggest is look at the ultimate lie from the ultimate liar.
Okay.
And I just want to leave this with you, that Jesus died for you,
Okay.
was buried, rose 3 days later, and when we A, accept He is who He says He is, B, believe on Him, and C, confess with our mouths, you will be granted eternal life, that these temporary things will no longer matter. Your eternal life, because life, no matter, you live to 120, it's still that in comparison with eternity.
Yeah, but there's people still suffering around the world, and I feel like
never happens in a vacuum.
So
If you do something wrong, it's going to affect someone else.
Right,
If we
okay.
all do lots of things wrong, it's going to affect and affect and affect. Yeah, it's called the moral cascade.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah.
Sin never happens in a vacuum.
Yeah.
People dying from here, people starving over there.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Where God created. At the end of the Genesis, He had a statement.
Yeah.
And it is good. It is very good.
See,
and it was Adam's sin that brought wickedness into the world, and we perpetuate it.
I do like all of this. I mean, I told you I was an agnostic before and all that, and I'm starting to be a little bit more open-minded and all that. But when I hear all of this, I still feel as though I've got to go on to beliefs and faith again. But when I don't have that faith in the beginning, this is very hard and alien what you're saying to me. And
do you know what I'd love to do then?
Go on.
I'll just say a quick prayer.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you
What's your
can.
name?
My name's Jason Disbury.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
Okay.
I'm Tom. It's Chris.
Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, I just want to pray for Jason, Lord. I just want to pray that you open his eyes, Lord, to real truth. He's searching, Lord, and so I pray, Heavenly Father, that the God of this universe will just open his eyes to real truth, Lord, and that you will just gradually, or however you do it, Lord, just help him to see what was really, truly going on. I thank you, Lord, that he's got a acquisitive mind, Lord, and I pray a blessing upon him and his family, Lord. And as he goes to bed tonight, Lord, may he just ask you, you are God who don't play hide and seek, that you are God, that if we seek you, that you will reveal yourself to us. So I pray, Heavenly Father, that as he asks you with an honest heart and an open heart, that you will reveal yourself to him. In Jesus' name, and I thank you for him, Lord, and I pray a blessing upon him in Jesus' name.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And thanks very much.
That's all right. And honestly,
okay.
God will
question all things and hold to that which is good. Look it up.
I will do. But thank you.
Cheers, guys.
All right then, buddy. It's okay, guys. I'm still a flat earther, but that was a nice thing. It was. I mean, like, look, if that's something that these guys hold dear to their hearts and that, and yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
all of his Christian beliefs are based on astrotheology.
There is that as well. Look, I've always been agnostic in that, and I've started to think about creationism and things. You know, like because I don't believe in this big bang and that we all come from everything from nothing, and then and all of a sudden we'll come from making it simple from monkeys, and we've still got monkeys. And I can't hold to all of that. It just seems nonsense, all of that, because it's a theory, and it's just, you have to have faith in the belief in that scientism. And I don't hold to that. These guys make more sense to me than that rubbish, you know. But I must admit that all that, you have to have a lot of belief and faith. I just said that to him. I said, so I can't. I still remain an agnostic, you know. But I'm looking into things. I have to be open-minded.
Yeah, it's all still down to belief and faith.
Yes.
You don't know.
But
Blind faith, though, isn't it?
blind faith.
Very
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yes.
So I struggle with that, you know. But of all the things in the world that I don't know, that has to be one of the things that I don't know. So that's why I sit on the fence.
I think you'll come and see what it is.
So anyway, would you like to take a leaflet?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, one of the main reasons. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm the foggiest. So let me put that back. Right. My biggest problem is this is land that I shouldn't be able to see. There's lots of land that you shouldn't be able to see. There has to be a curvature chart. If we live on a ball, there has to be a curvature drop. It's called spherical trigonometry by Pythagorean's theorem. Okay, so based on that, 65 miles away on a good clear day, you can see the Isle of Man.
Well, 28 miles away, so you guys are still even Land's End.
No, you can't. You're not allowed to.
We
I know you do. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not.
We used to work at
Yeah.
We used to work at Land's End.
Yeah,
Trust me, on a clear day, 28 miles away is the horizon.
Okay.
It's a fact, and you can see that.
And yet.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
But that's what I'm saying. It's meant to be hidden under
It should
the
have been
curvature.
over the curvature of the Earth.
There is a curvature, you can see it. Again, you can see it all over.
And that's just kind of my main argument, is that we see lots of land that you shouldn't be able to see. This is the most longest distance photograph, and you can see land 273 miles away. 3 miles high of curvature should be there. Well, I verified it only on my local area, from Brixham to Exmouth. If I stand on the beach at Brixham, I get my zoom camera, I zoom in, and I can see Exmouth.
And if you look at the rockets have gone up there, and you look back down again, I got a book about it, and you can see the Earth is plainly around it. As is the moon.
See, we don't believe in what all the photographs that NASA says. If you look on their on their website, it says that they're composites of images and that. It's worth looking into. All right. Oh, we're having a little bit of a. I won't be seen. You all right? Oh dear. I'll keep out the way. Nothing to do with us. To do with police and being a little bit heavy-handed with this guy. Whoa. Come on, guys, calm down. Guys, come on. Yeah, I won't. But this is I'm recording this for them. I shouldn't be done this. A little bit heavy-handed. Threw him on the floor, face first. Yeah, not good. Don't like this. Is that a little bit heavy-handed? Yeah.
I love you. Yeah, good.
Alright, so come away. He seems to be.
I love you.
Yeah, I think it's a regular occurrence. So, not good. They put him down a little bit too forceful there. Yeah.
I agree with that. Right, well, but there was only one shadow of that flag, and the way it was cast right
You know what they're doing.
it was taken from space right here, not using studio lighting.
No.
Oh, just
I'm only filming just to make sure that the police don't do anything too silly. Which is what's that? Yeah, just making sure that the police aren't doing anything too silly. Yeah, I'll try and keep away from that. Yeah.
It also becomes a bit choke-faced.
Yeah, he'll go away in a minute.
I sort of give up with them.
Yeah, the cops are unarmed, but they still got their pepper sprays, and some of them have some of them have their tasers, you know. Trying to be discreet with my filming. Don't want to cause anything else. But when you hold the camera out, it should calm the police down a little bit. Yeah, I know, but it's... So put a little damper on. We've got all school children out at the moment, making a mockery of what we're doing and that. Sometimes you can't reason with it when they're this young. Ooh. Yeah, that's right, local drunks. Yeah, but even if they're drunk and all that, I feel as though it was my duty to put a camera in their face to make sure it calms the police down a little bit. Make sure they don't do anything too nasty.
Ethereum science is very different from normal.
Right. Whoa! Well, that's not cool, bud. That's not cool. Hey? Yeah, I won't do that to your belongings. I am. It's because I don't believe in the Harry Potter magic theory of gravity, the scientism. Because I don't know if you know, gravity cannot be proved. There is no evidence that gravity exists. I don't know if you're taught that, but there isn't. It's a theory. It's wizardry. Just a magical force.
Okay, I'm willing to actually argue. I'm willing to sort of agree with you to a certain extent, okay? Because I agree with what you're saying. Gravity is a constant.
Yes. And I've got an advocate, and you probably heard it from Harry before, we've got an adequate explanation for what you perceive as gravity, and yet we have to submit them adequate reasons for this wizardry, this proof in magic that can't be proved.
We believe in the effects of gravity in the other day, right? And of course, I wholeheartedly agree with the maths, as you can see. But I think that we don't need gravity to prove anything in the other day.
Okay.
I mean,
but what about water holding to a ball, you know, the earth?
That's a big different phenomenon. That's not gravity at all holding it to the ball.
Okay.
That's
we've got...
That's all to do with how the compounds, how the molecules within these elements themselves interact with each other.
Okay.
And that is what gravity is essentially is.
It's just that 1,000 miles an hour spin and centrifugal force, it should be throwing that water off, shouldn't it? 1,000 miles per hour, faster than a speeding bullet.
It's to do with I'd say, again, it's all to do with relative mass as well.
Okay.
It's another way of looking at it, whereby the relative mass of the Earth, right, and the fact that it's more dense than water, or the vast majority of it is more dense than water, it holds it to the surface.
Okay.
And that I firmly believe. The larger the objects, the more sort of attractive force it produces.
Yeah. I hear that you're using the word belief and all that, because I used to use that as well, because this is something really difficult to prove without one shadow of a doubt.
I'd say it's more believable than others would suggest. I mean,
okay. Can it not just be simplified as the molecules in this is heavy than the air? Can it not be as simple as that? because that's why a helium balloon wants to rise, because it's lighter than air.
Yeah, it's less dense. Exactly.
I mean, for me, that makes perfect sense for me.
Yeah, I agree.
You know. Did you take a leaflet before?
I haven't, no.
I mean, it's got a website in there, and to watch a few videos and that, and you'd admit there's no way I could change your mind in 5 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, just to question it further. You know the word debunk, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Debunk a lot of it. That's what I try to do.
I mean, I'm more than happy to try to look at things from another point of view, but...
Excellent. So you're a little bit open-minded then. You're open-minded
I
enough.
try to be as open-minded as
Good.
I can be. But considering I've done chemistry, I've done like
physics and things.
Physics and things.
Yeah.
I've done a degree in maths right
Yeah.
now. I mean, I see the proof right here
Yeah.
with my own eyes, and
See, I didn't see the proof with my own eyes. I see land that I shouldn't be able to see. That's my problem. It's land that I shouldn't be able to see. It should be over the curvature. You know, like, and that bothers me. You know, like,
well, what do you mean by land that you should be able to see exactly? Like,
oh yeah, I mean the distance from Blackpool to the Isle of Man. You shouldn't be able to see the Isle of Man. You know, like
it depends on how far away it is and how tall you are.
That's right, and you're correct. It's 65 miles away. The highest mountain is 2,000 feet, but 2,500 feet should be hidden, but you can still see it. Dover to Calais, 300 feet should be missing. It's actually at the highest peak is 350 feet, but you can see the whole white coast of Dover from Calais. That shouldn't happen.
Okay,
270.
I'm actually trying to do the maths in my head right now. Actually.
Really? Well, it's spherical trigonometry. It is.
Pardon?
Spherical trigonometry you wanted to do.
Yep, and I do know the maths.
Oh,
well.
That's excellent. I'll throw it in there for you, just to help. 8 inches per squared mile. That's what it calculates to.
It's roughly 1 mile per foot tall you are, if I remember the maths correct. Roughly.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'd have to look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember hearing something.
So you know there has to be a mathematical formula to this. There has to be. So and yet there's so much land that we should be able to see. I'd say that's 273 miles away. You can still see land. 3 miles high should be missing. Well, that's a bother for me if I must believe in the curvature of the Earth. And I think that's enough seed for anybody to want to watch some videos. Just that alone, just enough. You know, it's good that you've got questions. That's okay.
Yeah.
You've come across this before, have you?
I know some of the maths, and I disagree with some of the maths and some of the science.
Of course.
Here, but
yeah, well, that's the idea of debunking.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I agree with some of the points you're trying to make as well.
Yeah.
That there are discrepancies there.
Yeah. Where was you on like things like the moon landings and that?
I wholeheartedly supported them at the end of the day.
I did. Oh, 100%.
I still believe in those, right? Because the technology didn't exist at the time, right? Yeah, to falsify the pictures that were taken.
Okay.
And then there's the retroreflective panels that were on the moon itself.
Where did you see the pictures that were taken? Did you see how crappy the pictures were? They were really crap.
Yeah, but the point is the positions of the shadow relative to everything else.
But there was like 3 different shadows or so coming from different directions. They didn't. I've seen that. Okay.
And where it's only one shadow, and they've proven that. So
okay. And what about the no blast crater?
There are no blast craters on the moon.
Well, it's meant to be like, soft moon dust. You know, like so when they landed, surely that would rip that apart. A blast crater, surely it does when they were practicing on Earth.
It's a different level of gravity.
All right.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Or different. Well, I'm going to say. I don't like to use the word gravity.
Is it possible that you might be clinging on a little bit to? I want you to be. You just said that you're open-minded.
I don't want to use the word gravity per se, right? Yeah, but it is a different level of gravity.
Yes, I think they said 1/6. Yeah, that's what I was taught. I was taught that as well, but I was just saying to this gentleman.
To be fair, I agree with what this gentleman is saying. Right, the gravity is.
It's not proved. I know. I thought it at school. Density and buoyancy. The molecules in this is just heavier than the air around it, so this falls through there.
Every sense of matter does into some sort of attractive force, right? I mean, there could be something like rotating.
Sorry, I don't want to film. I always feel awkward filming kids. Mars?
Yeah.
Well, I see a red blob in the sky, and sometimes I see a green blob.
Well, the thing is that there could be some scientific proof to back up the vacuum flats as well, though. How do we know?
Well, no, if you've been there, it's second-hand knowledge.
Yeah,
You kind of have this belief.
Have been up and seen how it is now.
Okay, and they actually took pictures of it as well. I'll show you a couple of pictures. That there, that's NASA's official Earth image. That's their photographs. NASA, 1 year apart.
They took a picture of America.
Okay, 1 year apart. It's the same size circle. Why did America shrink 1 year apart?
What do you mean?
Well, does it look the same size to you?
No.
You can go on their website and you can check that out for yourself.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Go on, grab that leaflet. And all we're saying is that I think there's enough information just to let you question things, what you're taught. You should be allowed to question things, or are you repeating for an exam?
You're just changing them different.
No, can't. That you have to question for yourself. You're a flat earther. Well, to be honest, everybody's flat earthers. They just don't know it yet. There you go. Which one's that?
Those images, I can't explain
I'm
them.
saying-
I was actually just thinking of it. It's just like
I'm saying
they're
just
taken from different perspectives.
go on NASA's website themselves. That's the 2012, 2013 image.
And you're quite right. They definitely one definitely looks bigger.
But look, even when you look at these images, look at these.
The only way I could even remotely explain that is that they use different cameras.
But it's the same circle.
That's exactly it.
And what I'm saying is that
that's the only way I could even bother.
these are photographs from different space agencies of Earth. Different space agencies from Earth. I've been saying which one's the fake. Just what I'm saying, how different they all are. I mean, this one's got no. I mean, look, that's ridiculous. When have you ever seen? If people can't understand what a CGI images, you can't help a lot of
It is a
people.
bunch of ones and zeros at the end of it. I mean, it's easy for something to be.
Well, this guy here, Robert Simmons, he used to work for NASA, and he creates what you call a blue marble. He creates it. He works for NASA. He's in a radio interview, and he says they just take high altitude pictures, pull composites, they stitch them all together, they put them on a blank 3D sphere, and stitch them all together, add layering, for clouds and things, and he builds them, and then he presents them as photographs. And there you go. In National Geographic, he made that. And it was presented to us as a photograph of space.
I mean, looking at it from a mathematical point of view, right? Look at an atlas. So I actually encourage anyone, look at an atlas, okay? Iceland appears bigger on an atlas than Africa.
Yeah.
The fact right here that it's been proven
That's
Africa
right.
has a much larger landmass.
Yeah. Well, they say all the northern parts of the globe and all that, they're disproportional, aren't they? They're all the wrong size. That's what.
It's all to do with trying to map things.
Yeah.
From what I say, either from a circle like you're trying to make it, or a sphere onto a 2D surface.
Yeah.
And a square. It's all to do with the way it's being mapped. So, how else do you agree with what's being said?
Yeah, possibly. You all right, buddy? You come back for more?
Yeah, sure.
Got a question, have you?
No, just come and see what everyone else is
All
saying.
right, yeah. That's okay. Oh, can I give you a leaflet? Would you like a leaflet there? Everybody else has had one. Would you like a leaflet? No? You okay? Okay? Right. Oh, I'm shattered. Been a busy day. Where are we? 2.5 hours so far. It is. He knows it. He's got a Burger King hat on. Oh, that's a beautiful dog, that. Look at that. Look at him. You mind me filming your dog? What a gorgeous... Look at you, eh? Hello. Look at you. You are gorgeous. I know. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, I could take you home. But I don't think Tara would like it. Gorgeous. There you go. Oh, did you have a leaflet? Can you get one? There you go.
I am interested. It's interesting.
Yeah, but are you interested in art or are you generally?
I'm interested in wine.
Do you like a leaflet there?
No, I'm good.
You okay? That's all right. Yeah.
I would say I call it ridicule. I call it professional questioning.
I was just saying to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we're up
Well, it's turned out to be a nice day here today. It was really windy before. Wind's calmed down. We're not losing the banners. My banners thought it was a kite before, so we strapped it all down. This is day 6, Truro, nearly coming to an end. We do have another drink now. My mouth's getting very thirsty. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Truro. We're right in front of Truro's Catholic Church, Cathedral. God, it might be Catholic. I really don't know. Let's go and have a quick peek. I'm gonna walk away, just have a different perspective for 5 minutes. I think just want to have a little peek at Truro Cathedral. Quite stunning. Don't go into the devil, jump in. Alright. That's some sight, that, isn't it? Alright, so as you can see, we're not so far away from the cathedral. Harry's minding the fort. I'll show you where we are in a second. This is where we are. You should be able to see the word U. And that's Truro. Oh, there's a lady there. I wonder if we can get a leaflet to her. She looks interested. There you go. Would you like a leaflet? Okay. Here you go. Would you like a leaflet?
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
What was the shout and scream?
Say that again.
What was the shout and scream?
Oh, before?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a couple of drunks and they got arrested and thrown in the back of a van.
Ladies what?
Ladies as well. Oh yeah. Good.
Okay, she was kicking, but there's nobody stopping.
No, that's right. Yeah. No.
Are you not recording with them?
No, no. Not unless you want to be.
That's the another way of looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Seems to be quite quieting down again, but we can still give out a few leaflets and that. I think Harry nearly always calls it a day, so I'll leave it up to him. I'm always happy to just stay here till midnight. I don't care. I'll camp on the floor if I have to. So. Yeah, still quite a lot of people, but they're walking past now. We had security before. He was looking over. I thought we were going to be asked to move on, but he left us alone. We are in a public space, but a lot of these places, even though that we're in a public space, there's still enforcement officers that will occasionally move us on. Yeah, we're in Truro, mate. Truro, day 6. We've had a few flat earthers today, so a few conversations with some flat earthers. Harry's had a few flat earthers. So Truro is not completely asleep. There's some people awake. I'll try and come away from it a little bit and allow people to get close to the banner, because sometimes you feel as though you pounce on them, they're running away too quick. So do my fishing again. Oh, I've just picked up, someone's thrown away Harry's business card. Business card, is this business? One of his activism cards to activate their minds. Yeah, it's all quieting down here now. We may be calling it a wrap soon. Can someone tell me what the time is, please? That's, there you go. Thank you, Kimmy. Is that my time though, Kimmy? I think it is. Thanks. Cheers. Right. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Trav. Oh. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we had three reporters turn up a bit earlier on, if you've just joined us. It's kind of strange because these three reporters literally come from nowhere and pounced on us all together, and I believe they were from two different newspapers. I didn't really get to, I was like a deer in headlights, and I didn't really get to ask them who they were from, but we'll do a bit of searching later on and see if we can find out who they were. But Harry had a great conversation and he seemed like an unbiased report, but myself, very biased. I don't think we'll get much out of that other than people trying to... Oops, there's Harry, just stood on Tara. Yeah, yeah, as I say, I don't think we'll get a unbiased report from my conversation. It seemed the way it was going, they'd already made their mind up, and I think I'll just get people making a mockery of it. But it's not, we can't control that. There's not much we can do. We can fear it, we can run in fear and don't talk to the media, and we can all hide away, or we can just keep, no matter whether it's good or bad, we just keep speaking and speaking and speaking, and hopefully this will all be talked about and it'll be acceptable to talk about.
Now, I genuinely think about it, you make a valid point.
Can't argue. Yeah. So it raises other questions as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know what,
You got some bit more mature kids here. They're a little bit easier to talk to, I hope. I'll just grab you one of them. There you go, guys. If you got any questions, give us a shout.
we only get like a third of the time where we can actually see the stars in the night sky.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? It would explain why they move.
Getting a little attention again. Would you like a leaflet? There you go.
Is it going to the moon and back?
It's about a lot of things. Do you believe in the moon landings, can I ask?
Yeah, I want to go.
Well, I'd like to go, but I don't think we've been yet.
Oh, don't you?
Well, there's a lot to say that we haven't been.
I mean, Sandra, you do, you know, some of the things I don't bother with. I just get on with my own life.
Yes.
Live my life. Do what I can for other people. I'm healthy and I'm happy.
Just like my wife, exactly the same. She has nothing to do with it. She's everything that you just said then, she's just happy with her own life, and that's it.
And the children. Sacrifice for the children.
Yeah.
My husband.
I'm just annoyed the fact that I feel like in some sciences and all that, in education, I think I've been lied to. I don't want my kids to be lied to.
No.
You know, I want the truth. And
that's right.
But I do agree. My wife is exactly the same. What you just said then.
You know, when you look at, I mean, I come from Newton, but I used to take the children on the beach in the summer holidays.
I'd sit and always be down for a longer stay and see where the sun would go down. And the beach hut, because it was number 13, and they only wanted 13, so it was cheap.
All right, okay.
That's how it used to be, you see.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember sitting there, so this year I went down, and I bet it was about 6 inches to the left of where it normally is.
Okay.
And I thought, no, I'll wait a bit longer, wait a bit longer, until it actually, I got half the moon gone behind.
Yeah.
And it's still, and I was like, but if we stop and think of it, we're floating in space.
Mm-hmm. So we're
It's
told.
interesting, so why shouldn't it? No.
1,000.
It's not going to stay the same, is it?
Meant to be turning 1,000 miles per hour faster than a speeding bullet.
People don't know that, you see.
No, travelling at 67,000 miles an hour around the sun, and the sun's hurtling us through the galaxy at 500,000 miles an hour again.
Is it going to stay stable?
The thing is,
for 60 years.
Well, this is one of the sciences that that annoys me the most, and I think that we are being lied to. We still, sailors and navigators, and that can still navigate at Polaris. It's still above us. Astronomy's never changed since it ever began.
No, that's right.
There should be lots of signs of parallax, and all these other stars should be doing their different direct. The sky should be a mess every night.
Yeah, but it's not. It's in my family.
It's the same.
Do you come from down here?
I'm actually from Paynton in Devon, and
Do you know Portreath, which is local? It's a local.
I've heard of Portreath. Yeah.
They used to sail out of Portreath. If you go down there, look at the size of the harbour now.
Okay.
Wooden boat, sails, rudder.
Yeah. Well, that's right. They didn't have GPS back then. Yeah.
And everything the same.
Yeah.
And that's how they navigated to South America.
Yeah.
For trade.
See, and does it not make sense that these stars are just revolving around us instead?
Just don't realise.
No.
They don't realise. It's what I call ground. You don't need a degree.
Yeah.
You just need to lie in the grass
There you go.
field and look up.
For me, that's science. That's your common sense, your senses, like telling you, and that's science.
That's my degree.
Yes. Your life's degree. Yeah.
You talk, the very few people I can talk to that actually comprehend
Yeah.
the magnificence. So I say, I'm on the boat to places, and you ever look up? You ever look up and see the lovely blue sky?
Yeah.
And then see the clear sky when it's dark.
Yeah.
And all the
I think a lot of it's our light pollution. We kind of destroy it overnight around here.
You see, I used to be a farmer's wife. I was in the hotel business with my parents, and I married a farmer. And we used to go out and film this lying thing.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely
See, I see people doing, the film that we're looking at, the Milky Way and that, and you see it revolving around. I've never seen that in my life. Everywhere I've ever been, it's just been too much light pollution. I've got to go. I'm nearly 50 soon.
Oh my gosh, you've got a big finger.
I do.
Still got your eyes on your
Yeah, definitely.
See, I would have been what, or 20s, 30s, 40s then.
Right.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was at the Aurora Borealis, like on the northern. I have to see that.
I've been up to see that.
Really?
Yes.
Stop it! You can't. I'm envious now.
No, but I've always
Have you seen the 24-hour sun up the north? Where, I think they do it somewhere around about July or so.
I haven't seen that, but I have some of it I just absorb, I love it, and I don't talk about it. And then I go in my way to read it because my husband's gone, so I've gone back to repair myself as I did before I met him.
Yeah.
I had 4 years of deep freeze, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anybody. And I thought, shouldn't I go back to as I was? As
Yeah,
a
yeah.
teenager.
Yeah.
My parents, I used to travel again. Anyway, over 30 years now, it's repaired.
Yeah.
And that was, I've lost my tracks, I've gone back, lost my
That's right.
But it's just repairing and travelling, and it's something I do. Oh, in India they say when you've got sun and moon in the sky together,
Okay.
that is very, very good luck. Holy, whatever it
Right.
is, the original
Yeah.
religion is, it's a sort of like holy, blessed time.
Yeah.
You have them both there.
Yeah.
So you see how that country is.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine called Dave Mannell, and he said that you should ground yourself and take your shoes off and walk around and feel the grass. And
What am I doing? What have you got shoes
I know.
on?
Yeah, that's right. I
I'm
know. I am not listening. I'm just. Yeah. We should. We don't do these things. We don't look up. We don't earth ourselves.
And you know what? I
Yeah.
don't have anything I need to know. I don't have any hot wares.
Okay.
I have a big dish
Right.
in it, or a container I seal. Red peppers, yellow peppers, grated parsley, whole garlic, chopped small.
Yeah.
Calabrese, cucumber, courgette.
Okay.
Olive oil.
Yeah.
Mix it round, put the lid on,
Yeah.
and I feed off that. And I think I'm the original California.
Yes.
Because I don't feel well.
Yeah.
I have all these luxuries that I've been given.
Yeah.
People say, how are you so happy?
Yeah.
I said, I'm healthy.
Healthy.
But I'm
And it's
sure
not just healthy body, mind and soul.
It is. It's the whole
Yes,
caboose.
that's it.
But then you comprehend.
Yeah,
because
I
you
get
know
that.
where I'm coming from.
I do.
But I think it's people that the Bora race was fantastic. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But you see, that's all good with us. You know, we are not in control. They can think what they want.
Yeah.
And I don't bother. So, you know, we have to call them. My husband and I didn't bother.
Yeah.
And I said, aren't we right? No, what will be, will be. Now you're all died and gone.
All right, it's nice talking to you. It really is. There's a leaflet there, there's a website there. Check out a couple of videos.
Yes, I will do. Nice to talk.
Thank you very much. Right. You all right, Harry? You stood on Tara. All right, okay. Bye-bye. You want your cards there?
Was that something handed in the back?
That's on the floor. You did, yeah, on the floor. Well, she was a nice lady. Seems to be. Would you like a leaflet?
Oh, yes.
There you go. Do you want a leaflet there?
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. And would you like one?
Yeah.
Excellent. Got any questions? I'm just here.
Yeah, I do.
Go on, what's that? What have you got?
I actually. When did you begin to consider these articles?
Oh God, only a year and a half ago. Oh, I thought people like me would be bonkers, you know, like, but yeah, a year and a half ago, I stumbled across it and then I watched the video. It was actually that video there, okay? I watched that video and within half an hour I turned it off, went to bed, and I sat there looking at my ceiling all through the night and I could not sleep. It annoyed me so much that I went down to finish the rest of it. It was a 2-hour long video, I did half an hour. So I watched the rest of it and it kind of blew my mind a bit. I wouldn't believe in it. So what I did was do you know what debunk is?
Yeah, where you try and
disprove something. Yeah. So I tried to debunk this. I spent 4.5 months at 15 to 18 hour days. And I tried my whole being of everything to try and debunk all of this. And you keep going further and further down the rabbit hole and it just all starts making sense.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a member of the Flat Earth Society.
you are a member of the Flat Earth. I've never met.
Over 40 odd years ago by an aeronautics scientist from British Aerospace.
Yeah.
He went, there's a picture of the Earth round. No, it's flat.
Wow.
Now it makes you laugh.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
Yeah. All right. So there's a website in there, and all we're getting to people to just watch that if you want, or watch a couple of other videos and see what you take it from there. You know, and if you've got any other questions, I'm here. You can ask them.
How do you deal with the horizon problem then?
Perspective. Nothing more than perspective. You know, like, because look, you know that guy down there. You know he's not 1 inch.
Yep.
It's perspective. So like, as the sun goes away,
But then why can I only see a certain distance?
Atmospheric conditions. Nothing more, you know, like well, if you say so, on a foggy day right now, sometimes I can only see a couple of feet in front of me. Yeah. But like on other days, right now, there's lots of air pollution right now in front of us, and then you know, like, but it gets hazier. If you take a camera now and look right up to the top of town with your camera, it starts getting hazier and hazier and hazier. You know, when you get down to the end of it, it's just atmospheric conditions. That's why we can't see Brazil. And perspective, because obviously, well, if that guy only down the road shrank to 1 inch, can you imagine the size of Brazil would have done? It would have shrank to nothing.
So then what is the cause of our gravitational field?
Okay, so you might not like this, but I'll tell you, okay? Gravity is a theory, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not only a theory, they haven't got a clue what it is. They haven't got a foggiest what it is. They can demonstrate something falling, but if you ask any scientists, physics professors, they...
Some understanding of physics.
Okay, could you explain to me?
So it's all to do with the finding of the Higgs boson and the development of things having mass, a field that can attribute mass to things.
Why would that give that a force?
Because of the natures of quantum physics.
Okay, and why? We could go whys and whys and whys, and all I'm saying is that this magic Harry Potter wizardry, that everything's being pulled down to the centre of the earth, even though the deepest that we've ever dug is about 7 to 8 miles, and we don't know what's in the centre, but we know in our heads that there's a core, there's a mantle, and all the layers and all that. We know that is because I seen glossy CGI pictures when I was young, and we don't know what's under there.
Would it fall?
Yeah. But
if you're in Australia and you did the same, would it fall?
Yes.
Because of gravity.
But again, we just said that what gravity?
Because of general relativity, things don't fall towards the Earth. That's not how that works.
So you believe in the Einstein, though? It's good talking to you.
Yeah, the theory of general relativity.
So you don't subscribe to the Newton theory of gravity? No, because some have moved on to the Einstein and given away to Newton and all that. We kind of think it's all hogwash anyway. I mean, because even what's the general relativity, it can't be proved. It's still another theory.
Yeah, but it is.
It's 2018.
Time again that it's fairly
if I ask 1,000 people in the street and say, is gravity a real thing? They'll all say yes.
Yep.
And I'll ask them, can you prove it? Can you evidence it? Can you do you know what it is? And I'll get 99%. I haven't got a clue.
But then, if they can't prove what it is, the lack of proof is not evidence.
Well, no, I agree. But 2018, I'll be dead soon. You know, I want some evidence that this is real. I'm not happy that it can't be proved.
It's just incredibly complex physics.
Okay, but I'll give you something very simple. Can it not just be the molecules in this are heavier than the air around it, so it falls, and the air underneath it wants to rise above it? That's density and buoyancy. It just adequately explains it so simply, and yet you can't tell me about gravity. Sorry?
It's not what happens outside atmospheric conditions. Mass and weight is meaningless outside of atmospheric conditions.
But how can you evidence this?
Because if you go into a vacuum, which we've done on Earth,
okay, which experiment? And the feather.
They drop the
I've
same
seen that one with Brian Cox.
Brian Cox has done it, but yeah.
I haven't seen anybody else done that. I've seen it with Brian Cox. But anyway, with the one with Brian Cox, they film it when it's not vacuumed, and they film it in one. Boom. They film it in one. But when they film it again and it's vacuumed, there it goes. Cut. Cut. Cut.
So
why can't we just see it?
So what do they gain by that?
I don't know. I'm foggiest. Because you would agree that we'd have to take someone to court, someone would have to be accountable, we'd have to... That's the only way we can get answers, and all I can say is we haven't done that yet.
Can I just interject here for 1 second?
Of course you can.
Now, so if you can sit there and tell me that the Earth is fucking flat,
okay.
No,
you don't. That's okay.
Have you ever been to Mount Teide?
I haven't.
Tenerife. Yeah, Tenerife. It's about 7,000 meters above sea level.
Okay.
And I've got photographs of it. I actually was on top of the fucking thing. I've got photographs of the curvature of the fucking Earth.
Have you?
Figure that one. Because you can actually see the sky go like this.
And yet,
you're that high above the fucking sea. What is wrong with you?
And your mainstream science says that you're wrong.
But it's... What the fuck? I've got the visual evidence. I can go get my camera and show you the fucking thing.
That's fine. I disagree with you. And I'd like you to bring that evidence, please.
Are you fucking serious?
I am positive. I am deadly serious.
Holy balls in my mouth. I didn't
because we send amateur balloons up there, and we still see a level horizon. And yet you're telling me just 7,000 feet. Oh yeah, of course I can see curvature.
7,000 meters.
7. Oh, well, now we're being insulting. I won't engage with you. You're going to be insulting.
There's no point being offensive.
No.
Demeans your own argument, which I agree with. But
no, what it is like, if that's land that we can see, okay, that's 65 miles away, and it should be hidden under the curvature. Why can we see this land?
He's not wrong. The angling of the Earth does mean that should be
hidden.
Visible. But
that sounds correct.
No, logically it is correct.
273 miles, and we can still see
but it's
land.
Ignoring the effect of
refraction.
Refraction, yeah.
I accept it. I've seen refraction, you know, like, and but I see the shimmer. I see a little bit of waving up and down, and all that. And I can accept that on maybe Calais to Dover, but not 273 miles and 3 miles of mountain, you know, miles being lifted 3 miles high. I can't accept refractions that clever, that good.
Wait.
I can't, you know, like 273 miles, I'm lifting it up 3 miles high. The Dover one, that's 24 miles, we're talking 300 feet. Yeah, go for that. That's okay.
Okay, hang on.
I'm going to pick someone up from the station, so have a nice day.
No, it's good talking to you.
How long are you going to be here?
Not too long now. I think we're here for another hour or so, maybe.
Another hour? I'm just thinking, because I live up the hill, and I'm very tempted to go get those photographs.
Nah. Well, look. If you're willing to take a leaflet, there's a website address there, FE Start. You can always post them to me, and then I can put them on the YouTube, and everyone can see it. And
I've literally seen it.
Okay. Right. So.
With my own eyes, not through NASA satellites.
Yeah.
I literally have been on top of a 7,000 meter thing and seen the Earth go.
Okay, I've got a friend here who his friend just went up to Mount Everest, and he's put all the photographs on Facebook, and he's gone around the top of Mount Everest, and he says it's flat everywhere. Mount Everest. I don't know how high that is. How high is that? I don't know.
I'm way higher than TV, I would imagine, probably about 20,000 feet.
All right, I didn't know that, but like, and that evidence is on Facebook. I mean, you can see it. He's looking around with his his camera and that. It's flat. So I ask you again, just go home, check it out again, scan it into your computer, put a line across it, and then examine what camera has it got some sort of curvature on the lens? Because it's just a lens. No, it's not just a lens, because most lenses have, a fisheye lens. Most lenses do.
Fisheye lens, it's a bog standard lens.
Okay, but all I'm saying is that there's some curvature on quite a lot of lenses that aren't meant to be GoPro or curvature lens.
This is a bog standard, I know what lens it is.
Okay.
It's just bog standard flat lens.
But for me, I'm seeing, I stand on my local beach, and I can only do what I can attest to. My local beach, I stand in Brixham, I get my camera out, and I can, from beach to beach, from where I am, I can see Exmouth. I can see Exmouth Beach, I can zoom in, I can see all these people playing on the beach, and it's meant to be 40 feet hidden. 40 feet, which is, I don't know, somewhere where that sign probably is. Right. I shouldn't see anyone on the beach, no one, under the curvature, the bow. And yet we can see them, and that's my own personal evidence. So, that's not as high as what you're saying, but it's.
So hold on, now you're going to sit there and talk. Now, so I also know what you guys do. You guys like to talk about how gravity isn't a thing. What's holding me to the ground?
Density and buoyancy.
Oh, what?
It adequately explains it. Okay, I say density and buoyancy. I say the molecules in this camera is heavier than the air around it, so it falls through the air, and the air underneath wants to go on top. That's buoyancy, and that's why helium balloons carry on going, and then gravity says, "Oh yeah, you can go. I don't need you." And that adequately explains it. But if I ask most physics teachers, professors, scientists and all that, what is gravity? They haven't got a clue. They can do what you just did then and go, oh yeah, things fall, that's what gravity is. But they don't know what it is. That's madness. 2018, and you should know what gravity is by now. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's madness to think. No, it doesn't. I agree. All we're trying to do is ask people to look in this a little bit further, go to a website, watch some videos. Do you know what debunk is? I've been telling everyone all day, just debunk it all. Look, that's NASA's photographs, 2012, 2013. NASA's official photographs. Why did America shrink? It's the same circle.
Well, because, the only reason that is because maps have never been right in the first place.
But that was a photograph.
Yeah, but no, maps, when you do maps, they don't work anyway.
I agree, but they're meant to be two photographs. And that's what NASA says.
Yeah, but...
And then... So we don't really kind of believe what NASA's given us. I don't believe in the moon landings. There's too many things, too many anomalies. No blast crater, waving flags. There's the Van Allen belt that they had to get through, that is supposedly meant to be deadly. If you look at Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins and Neil Armstrong, if you watch the before and after, they're all laughing and joking, and they think, oh, we can't wait, we're going to go on this greatest adventure of mankind. They go, and when they come back, it looks like someone just killed their bloody kids. They are so, honestly, they're totally distraught. And we're just saying, there's too many anomalies for us not to ignore. I know, it's a big one. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
Have I given you just a little bit of a seed for you wanted to look at a video?
Yeah, well, I could probably try it, but I'm more... the thing is, I know the problem I have though is I have the photograph that I've got.
Yes.
And the problem that I've had to do is obviously I've had to take it as a panning shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know what you're going to do. I'm going to put that on the website. You're going to go, oh, you're
no. Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. I have the photos. It's
I did wonder. I have wondered myself, and that's why I don't like to tell people that. I don't want to do that. I want to kind of say, is it not our program that we want to see this sort of coverage because it's meant to be there? I kind of wondered that because I used to go when I first met my colleague here, Harry, and the first day I ever met him, I said, yeah, well, I can see the curvature when I stand on the beach. But even science tells you that you're not allowed to see the curvature on the beach. That's science. You're too low. But in my head, I was thinking, well, of course I see the curvature.
No, yeah.
But obviously I didn't. I couldn't have done.
Well, yeah, what's the thing? You have to be kind of see. The problem is you have to see it. You can't see it from the ground.
Well, what happens when let's say I'm in a hot air balloon, and as I go up higher and higher and higher, we should start seeing that ball come away from us. It should start falling away. But what happens is when you were up that high, the whole horizon lifted right to your eye level. The whole horizon. Okay, but that's not meant to happen on a ball. Think about it. If you're on a ball and the higher you go, that horizon should just start dipping below you. It's a ball. It should be lifting up with you. So I want you to think about that really long and hard. This is critical thinking. This is the stuff that I never thought about when I was a kid and that. Because why would you? We believe in the globe. It's a given. It just is.
Well, yeah. Okay, so how do you... So theoretically, so according to you guys, gravity doesn't work. It's not a thing.
Okay.
So how do the rest of the planets form it? What? Give me an excuse.
You won't like that as well. You won't like it, but look, I see maybe the moon looks like a sphere to me. I accept that it does look like a sphere. I look up with my own eyes. When I look at other images, I see in a telescope. You admit the eye can only see 2D when you look through a telescope. You can see 2D, and at far distance and all that. Because if I stand up close, I can see that you're 3D. That's because I've got two eyes, but you see kind of flat looking through a telescope. So we see some sort of circles. But when we look at a lot of these planets, they look like blobs of colour shimmering in the sky. We see some sort of illumination up there. And yet in my mind, I can tell you, and I could probably draw and colour it all in, Mercury, Pluto, Venus, I could colour all of this, Neptune, the whole lot in. We've got no photographs of this stuff, but yeah, I know what they look like. I know exactly what they all look like. I could paint all of this stuff. Why the hell do I know all of this information? It's my own indoctrination of school. I've seen so many CGI images that has been presented with me. I've never actually seen a photograph, not one, ever. I've seen these paintings and CGI images. So, and all my belief and understanding about these planets, these so-called planets and all that, is based on cartoons.
Yeah, but okay, so just go with me.
Okay.
So, presuming that Jupiter exists the way Jupiter is supposed to exist, as theoretically a big giant ball.
Ball, yeah.
Right. And considering, wouldn't you think that we would have been obliterated a long bloody time ago if that ball wasn't sitting there? Because that's why there's science is sort of the scientists have said that's why a lot of meteorites and asteroids don't hit us because they go straight past Jupiter and get sucked in. Because it's fucking huge. So
because it's got its own gravity and all that.
Yeah.
See, we don't actually believe all this stuff. I know it's a difficult one. When the so-called Big Bang happens, this is everything from nothing, absolutely nothing. So if I say right there now, that could be a Big Bang about to happen. We'll have another solar system right here now. Everything from nothing.
How do magnets work?
Sorry, magnets.
Yeah, how do magnets work?
Okay, I don't know where you're going with it, but go on.
The force is created from the North and South Pole, isn't it?
Okay, so if I'm in Australia... All right, okay. Right.
Go on, let's hear it.
Yeah, okay, so if I'm in Australia, I've got my compass, and it will point to north, yeah? Would it point to north? You said magnets work? So where's north? If I'm in Australia.
Yeah,
where's north?
It points towards the pole.
There. So I aim my compass that way to find north, yeah?
No, because
well, you said
you are not at the top.
You're not exactly opposite it.
But you just said that's
You're
the way.
not exactly opposite it.
What,
Like,
am I not?
if you're on the bottom,
okay.
it doesn't point down. It spins round in a circle.
1,000 miles per hour.
No. If you're
You need
underneath,
to check.
if you're on the
Check
south,
again.
if you're on the south,
1,000 miles an hour that we spin at the equator.
No. If you're on the south pole right now, south pole, the compass will spin. If you're anywhere else on the globe,
have you done this?
It'll point towards
Have you done this? Have you ever done this?
Have you?
Have you filmed it? Well, I know it doesn't do that.
Well, how do you know? Because
you don't answer how magnets
Because
work.
I just turned around and said.
How does a magnet hold something up? How does magnets work?
Okay, but then I want to hear it then. I'd like to hear it, and all my subscribers would like to hear how magnets work. Come on. Well, come on, I want to hear it. How do magnets work?
Well, that is a good question, though.
Right. So as I say, I mean, like, if we're on this ball and I'm in Australia, I should lift out a compass and point it to the floor. That's where north is. Through the earth. Who can get his head round that? It's too complicated. But you can think that, yeah?
Well, kind of, yeah.
And that doesn't make no sense.
Well, the thing is, when you get to the South Pole, everything is south.
When you get to the South Pole, everything's south.
Yeah. When you get to the South Pole, then there is no direction south.
But there should be. I should be able to point to north straight away if I'm in the South Pole. Why not?
Because everything they already did this. They proved this a long time ago. When I went to the South Pole, everything from the South Pole is south.
Is south.
Yeah.
See, that would make no sense whatsoever. When there's only meant to be a north pole, that compasses are meant to point to the north. They don't point to a south pole. There is no sort of like magnetic pole to the south. They point to the north.
You know, the same thing happens when you go to the North Pole. Everything happens. The North Pole, everything is that's it. There is no other direction. That's it. It's north.
Yeah, and that's why the reason they have a compass built the way it is, because if one's pointing north, then the opposite must be south. That's the way that is, isn't it? Yeah. You know, but like compasses don't work on a globe. They don't. They work only on a flat plane. Because you would say, if I want to go to China, I would have to point there, about an angle, right down there. There's China. But I know my compass won't work if I do that. I've got to have it level. We're asking questions, that's all we're doing. We're asking questions. Enough questions for you to go away and watch some videos. That's all we're doing. Oh, it's different on the phone because obviously you can turn your phone upside down and things, isn't it? But look, on your phone though, let's say
compass works. Look.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
If I do that, it moves.
I know, but it's not working. It's not working out from a magnet and some liquid in there and glass, is it? No. So I get. I see your point.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, because even again, that my phone to do that, my phone has to be connected to something to do that. It has to get freaking GPS satellite.
Yeah.
According to you, satellites don't exist. So what's that about?
Thermosphere. It's too hot. It gets up to 2,500 degrees Celsius in the thermosphere.
Do you know what satellites are made out of?
Titanium and aluminium. Okay.
Carbon.
Well,
lots of carbon.
And carbon, but they can't stand the temperatures of 2,500 degrees. Okay. I mean, like I put my chicken in the oven at 200 degrees. We're talking 2,500 degrees. Okay, so aluminium melts at 660 degrees or so. Titanium melts at, I think it's just over 1,000 degrees. I haven't got the figures for carbon, so I don't know. But what I'm saying is that we see a lot of these satellites made out of titanium and aluminium. We see astronauts up there, and they've got Velcro on storage compartments and things, and they open them all in space, in the vacuum of space. I mean, like a vacuum of space is meant to be boiling everything to.
Oh no, vacuum of space freezes everything. And it's also been proven that you can survive in vacuum of space for about 5 seconds before you get frozen.
That's what. Well, again, that's what they're saying. It's like being up there in space, and we've got all of these high temperatures, and we're talking about radiative heat. We're talking about the sun's energy coming through, making contact on something, the satellites, and just getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter because it's made contact, radiative heat, and then there's no air molecules to dissipate any of this. There's nothing. So it can only get hotter and hotter. It can't release any of this energy, and then they melt. So how can we have satellites? Now we know that 99% of all communications are undersea cables, okay? 99%. Why the hell have we got satellites? Okay, people say GPS, but...
Yeah, what's my phone connected to right
Well, you already know that it's connected to a cell tower. I know you know it's connected to a cell tower.
There's no cell tower.
So you think it's connected to a cell tower? Because there is a satellite. I know what it might say, but it's connected to a cell tower. Okay. In what way?
It doesn't have a cell tower.
So you're talking about GPS. Well, GPS is on cell towers, okay, and it's a thing called ELORN, enhanced LORN, okay, and they've been using triangulation since the 50s or 40s, triangulation, and that's all it is. It's just cell towers. But because we're saying this is a big mass globe lie conspiracy, and if that's the case, well, isn't that not beyond the capabilities of faking satellites? If it's meant to be as big as what we're saying. It's like propulsion in space. How did you get these satellites in space? I mean, I know the way propulsion works, you know, like from... Excellent. Well, that's the way I thought, you know, rockets, you know, thrust, bouncing this off the atmosphere as it's going up, that all makes sense. I know how that works. But once it leaves the atmosphere and there is no atmosphere in space, we're in the vacuum of space, where's Newton's third law of motion? For every action there has to be an opposite and equal reaction. What is it pushing against? It's in space. Yes, I'm sorry, and I don't want to. It's an overwhelming amount of information. There's a website in there. Watch a couple of videos and just make your own judgments. Debunk it all.
I'm gonna try and get those.
Give us a shake.
I'm gonna get those photographs, and I know I'm probably gonna get an email from you.
We'll see. We'll try and be kind to you.
I guarantee you that it's right there.
Okay then, buddy. Cheers, bud. Oh dear. I think I just broke him. He's a nice guy as well. Oh, I think we're in the middle of packing up here. Guys, we've got a little bit of a crowd and I think we're packing up. So I'm going to just have a quick walk around to let you have to see what's going on. I'll probably carry on engaging with a few people off camera, but Harry started packing, wrapping it all up. It's nice having you guys. Enjoyed myself here today. This is Truro. This was day 6. Let's see. I'll just give a few more leaflets out before I call it a day. See, it's like I've got an itch. There you go. Anyone want a leaflet? Go on. Yeah. Take it. There's a website in there. Check out a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Oh, do you just want a leaflet? No, you just know what you do. There you go. Do you want one? No, that's okay. Oh. Oh, of course you can. Sorry, I didn't see you. There you go. Oh, we're tired. Harry's wrapped up a little bit and my feet are killing me. Of course you can. There you go. I need more leaflets now. They're all gone. I've done quite well on leaflets today. Let's see what Harry's...
Most of them say they can't see the covers, but yet you can see it.
Yeah.
But pilots don't see it.
Well, they do. What pilots are you quoting here? What pilots?
Well, go on YouTube, you see a lot of them being interviewed.
Yeah, but I've spoken to real pilots, not just ones on YouTube.
I've spoken to real pilots who've never seen the camera. Have you spoken to pilots? We actually had a Second World War pilot approach us and said, "Oh, I've seen the coverage, right?"
You did.
I was flying certain planes.
On YouTube, I'll tell you what else on YouTube. Some people made amateur rockets and they sent it up with a camera on it, and it had a teddy bear on it or something, and it got up to some stupid amount, like 70,000 feet or something, and went into the atmosphere. And the camera looking back, it was definitely round.
But that's not conclusive. What you need is you need a GoPro lens, which curves this, and you need the wide angle lens to show you both views.
There's a difference between a GoPro lens that being wide angle curves things, and suddenly the Earth, like, you know, Like that's why when people climb Everest, they can't see Australia. You know, like
that's the atmospheric conditions. That is. But
yeah, but then there's always another thing that.
Well, yeah, I know, but it is. I mean, you can't see perspective and atmospheric conditions. I mean, like
I can see the moon. So
in what way?
I can see the
But that's here just above us. That's not looking at what 2,000, 3,000 miles down to Brazil, the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got a clue. It looks for me. It looks sphere. It looks like a sphere. You know.
Have you seen the other side of it though?
No. I've seen CGI cartoons of it on the other side.
I've seen videos from the International Space Station that show the Earth as a globe. Like, you know, so you seeing CGI things of the moon, that's not proof though. So
No.
how do you know the moon's not flat?
Well, that's right. Might be. I don't know, and you're quite right.
Do you see what I mean though?
Yeah. Push can. Oops. Right, guys. Anyone else? Okay.
I've already got one.
You've got one.
I've been in before.
We're asking questions, and we think it's legitimate to ask questions.
I was curious
Okay.
to ask you a question.
Oh, go on. Oh, right.
If this is the real Earth, then why isn't it flat?
Oh, God. Well, that's right. I mean, do you believe in all the pictures that you see?
Yes, because some of them are taken by satellites.
Excellent, because I seen a picture of the Loch Ness Monster, and I seen him actually talking on a video.
Yeah, but
So it has to be right.
That could be easily faked.
Exactly.
But the
So, but these images can't be faked.
These are professional though.
Ah, right. See that guy there? He works for NASA. And you see the magazine he's holding? You see it?
I didn't even know that.
Okay, it's in National Geographic. In a radio interview, he says that it's fake. That he puts them together. Works for NASA.
That might not be a real photo, but they have proof of satellites taking photos of them.
Where's the proof? Have you ever seen a satellite in space?
On the internet. Yeah, obviously.
Have you? Go and have a look again, and then tell me if it's a CGI cartoon.
CGI cartoon in the air.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that you've seen them in the air, satellites.
The thing is,
I'm asking you, have you seen satellites in space?
no, because they're too far away.
There you go. Right. Okay.
But the thing is, satellites are controlled by NASA, yes.
Okay.
And they are actual scientists.
Okay. Well,
Well, where's your proof?
well, my proof is land that I can't see. That I can see, that I shouldn't be able to see. So there's land. So if we're on this ball, okay, this ball is 24,900 miles, okay? There has to be a mathematical formula for the drop, for the curvature drop, yeah? Okay, it's called Pythagorean's theorem, spherical trigonometry, okay? Check this out for yourself. See this one here? This is 65 miles. You can see land that should be 2,500 feet should be hidden. The highest mountain there is Snaefell is 2,000 feet. But you can still see it. This is land. Sorry?
What's your Instagram?
Sorry?
What's your Instagram?
I don't know.
If the Earth is flat,
Aren't
why is that?
No.
So if the Earth is flat, where's the core?
Oh, what are you on about? You're saying that...
Where's the Earth's core? Earth's flat.
Okay, why does there have to be a core? Because if you let me speak, you jumped in so quick. Let me answer. Okay, so the Earth's core. Where is the Earth's core on a globe? Okay, how do you know that there's an Earth's core? I'm asking you. Is it a belief?
We've drilled down far enough that the drill has melted because of the heat from the
So we've drilled down far enough. The biggest hole was 8 miles. 8 miles.
Everest is like
But we were talking about drilling down. The most we drill down is 8 miles. How do we know that there's a core and that there's magma and all of this? Well, so do you think? So all I'm asking. Oh God, there's too many. All I'm asking is, should we not ask questions, or should we just believe in science that it's all that everything is a fact and we shouldn't question anything? Is that the way we should do? Because things like gravity. I don't believe in things like gravity. Okay.
Melissa, you can't
Okay. So okay. There you go. So and that's what we're taught. Do you think that's good enough? Because
I think dropped an apple.
Is that what it is?
That's true.
Right.
The apple dropped.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, there's manuscripts talking about it.
Is there?
In history, yes.
Okay. Right. Can I talk to you about it before you all interrupt? Okay, right. So, could it not be as simple as density and buoyancy, that the molecules in this are heavier than the air around it, and it falls through the air, and the buoyancy is the air going above it? That's density and buoyancy. It's very simple, and yet you're told about this magical theory of gravity, which is like Harry Potter and his wizardry and his wands, that says that it's something that's pulling you down to the floor. Where is the proof of this?
Yeah, but if you don't think that there's a core of the Earth, then how do you explain it?
Well, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just said that there is no proof that there's a core of the Earth.
What's the night? Do we just like flip a switch and like, well, just can't do it? Like, what is the night?
Oh no, because that's just silly, isn't it?
Yeah, but what is the night? So just
Well, no, I just asked you about gravity, and so what is gravity?
gravity is a force keeping us on the ground.
So what is it? What is this force? What is this force? Okay, so you're just going back in circles. What is this force of gravity keeping us to the ground? What is it? Sorry? It's what?
It's a force.
What I'm saying is even science doesn't know what it is. It's 2018, and ask your teachers. Science does not know. Do you want to listen or anything? Science doesn't know what gravity is. I'm just saying, ask your teachers. Okay? But does anyone need a leaflet? Because we're packing up.
Yeah, they're packing up. I realised they're wrong.
Oh, is that what it is? All right, okay. As long as you feel good about yourself. Oh yeah, that's surprising. There's millions waking up every day to this.
2 people in this whole planet think that the Earth is flat.
Do you hear that? There's 2 people. Can you hear that? so there's just 2 people. So you're live on YouTube right now. Well done, buddy. Right? Oh yeah. Can you explain to everyone what gravity is, please, without showing us? Explain us.
Centre of the Earth.
Okay, what does?
Gravity. The
What?
Centre of the Earth.
And what?
Pulls it in.
What pulls it in?
Gravitational pulls of the gravitational
What
field of the
gravitational
Earth.
pull? Which? Whereabouts is it? Show me.
What, so you're saying because you
No,
can't
I'm asking. Whoa, one at a time.
So you're saying because
one at a time.
So you're saying because you can't see something, that means it's not real.
No,
So
I didn't say that. It's just that I've got. I didn't. You're assuming. I've got an adequate explanation to what you perceive as gravity. Can it not be just density and buoyancy? Can it this phone? Can it not just be the fact that I just frozen then? Oh no. So can it not just be density and buoyancy? The molecules in this are heavier than the air around it, and it wants to fall down, and the air wants to go above it. Is it not as simple as that? And yet. Gravity is the theory of gravity, which is never. Gravity has never been proven. Did you know that? It's called the theory of gravity. But what? Again, you're just showing something. That's just a silly demonstration. Density and buoyancy. And if I drop it, it's density and buoyancy. I have an explanation to it.
Buoyancy is water and.
Come on, it's a media. Buoyancy's in the air, it's all around.
If you're saying
Buoyancy from hot air balloons and things. Come on.
If you walk to the end of the world, if you walk all the way
Sorry?
to the end.
So you're telling me if I took a flat plank.
Have you been in space?
You're telling me if I took a
Space?
flat board into space, yeah, like a board this big, and it was just a flat surface, I could drop my keys in space, it would land on that flat board.
Well, I believe you right away. I'd have to because let's go to space. Let's do it.
It wouldn't. So
Well, no, of course, because I mean, like he's talking about a hypothesis that he can't prove.
So you're saying how?
Well, yeah, he can prove.
How do you explain horizons? Sorry, how do you explain horizons?
Okay, so in what way?
Curvature. In that often you can see the sun go down behind us. If the Earth is flat and you're saying there's 2 sides, then...
Sorry, I didn't say there's 2 sides, but go on.
Are you saying we're all on one side?
Yeah, but that's right. I've never been underneath, so I don't know if there's another side.
When an eclipse happens, everyone would have an eclipse. If we're all on one side and it's above us in the sky...
Why would everybody have an eclipse? That all depends on where about. There's different...
You could still see it.
And you've still got some southern hemisphere and a northern.
A moon over here and a sun over here.
Okay, so then people over there get to see an eclipse, but then people over there don't.
Listen, have you seen the Top Gear episode yet? When they follow the sun
and they literally go around and follow the sun. The sun is setting, and they are then in the darkness, and then they follow the sun.
When you say
and then
setting,
they catch it up.
it's
So
called
it goes
perspective.
behind the Earth, and they follow it. And because the Earth is round, they follow it, and then they see the sun following the sun.
I had your education. I followed this for 47 years. Last year, I had a difference of opinion because there's lands that I shouldn't be able to see. Last year, I realised what perspective was and angular resolution. You guys haven't learnt all of this now, but you're also sure that you haven't learnt both sides of the argument. So you're really clever.
Yeah. That's how can you see if it's flat, if everything is flat, and you're stood here, you're stood all the way over here, how can you see the sun setting when it's not set all the way over here? All the way over here, it would still be light.
Angular resolution and perspective. But so you've just closed down because you don't understand what that is, do you?
So saying if
but you've closed down.
So
how about you just go away and research that angular resolution and perspective? So you've just shut off to it.
No, just listen to what I'm saying.
No.
If something is flat,
okay.
How can it be light over here
okay.
and dark over here
because
if the sun is up here?
Because we believe that the sun isn't 93 million miles away.
You believe is bullshit.
How close is it?
Excellent.
How close is it?
Sorry?
How close is it?
So anyway, we believe that the sun is about 3,000 miles away, not 93 million miles away. And do you see how close you are? You're closed off to it all.
Everyone on this thing is fucking dumb.
Are they? All right. Excellent. Anyone else? Anyone bright? Well, no, but what did you rip the shit off? Which one? What argument did you win? Okay. Okay. Well, you're coming across. You're coming across really intelligent. So tell us which part that I was wrong on. Which one?
About the part where you said the Earth was flat. That was probably.
Okay. Right. And what's your evidence to say otherwise?
So all the.
Okay. I'm listening.
All of the other fucking proof theories.
Okay, which proof?
I've not seen any proof of
well, I'm asking for proof of the globe. So where's the proof? Right, please tell everyone.
I don't have it on me. I don't carry around proof of the round Earth on me.
But you must know what you know.
My common sense shows it.
Okay, which is your common sense? Tell us which part.
Horizons.
Horizons. I said it was perspective and.
How do we not touch the moon?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So basically, horizons you're referring to. Okay. Can it not just be perspective? Can it not be that guy over there is about 1 inch tall? But I know he's not 1 inch tall. You know, and the further that they go away, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. And then we do actually see, if you measure the sun, you know, like you can see it going smaller. Okay.
Yeah,
you're not meant to. It's 93 million miles away. You're not meant to.
How close do you believe? Do you still believe that it's that far away?
No, not 93 million miles. Look. We'll go back to Aristophanes. Okay, this is what you taught at school. Aristophanes said that the Earth is 24,900 miles. I think he said 23,000 miles or something. But 24,900 miles. Okay, he based that on the sun being so far away and the angles that were coming off it. He was in cyan and it was either with wells, obelisks, or sticks and shadows. You can't make the mind up. Depends on what you read. Okay, so. This is based on these angles, and all I'm saying is that back then, I think they thought that the sun was about 9,000 or 12,000 miles away, 12 million miles away. But them angles would all be wrong. Their calculations would all be wrong. It's meant to be 93 million miles away.
All the people coming up to you and disagreeing with you.
But that doesn't happen. No.
No, I'm not saying everyone disagrees.
I'm right. That's right.
I agree.
How many?
I would say it has to be. We get. I would say about 10% that agree that are flat earthers that come. Okay. Listen. And then we must get probably about 70% that have good debate and acknowledge some of the arguments that we have to say. And then we get a very small-minded few people that are totally switched off and don't want to listen to anything. Their cups are so full and don't want to.
Is that not?
And
is every question you ask? You don't believe that.
No. You're asking me a question. I didn't say it was wrong. You asked me a question. I told you my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So and it just goes against your opinion.
You said you are being lied to. You are stating that we are being lied to 100%.
Okay, but which one? But which part? We're telling you that the government and science and education are. I don't know. No one's been taken to court. No one's been held accountable, so we don't know. £53 million a day. NASA gets £53 million a day.
We want to know more
know
about
what?
other planets.
Tell me what you got from NASA.
Other planets. We want to know.
Tell me what you got from NASA. What experiment did they give you? What have they done for mankind? NASA.
Because at some point we're looking to repopulate Mars because of the fact that
You really believe that you'll go to Mars or someone will go to Mars?
I think it's possible.
We've been going to space. Richard Branson's been trying to send us all to space for like last 20 years. You're not going to Mars. Come on. They'll talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and it'll never happen. You'll grow up and you'll see this for yourself.
People saying the same thing about the moon was made, they would have said, oh,
Yes. Do you believe the moon lands? Yes. So did you look into the Van Allen belt, radiation belt?
Yeah, well, no, not that.
Okay. Did you know that 30,000 reels of data telemetry went missing? Just poof, gone. So there is no record that we ever went, and there's this so-called video footage. Okay, there is no blast crater underneath when it landed. No blast crater. There is extra shadows that shouldn't be there on the moon. There is a waving flag on the moon. There is. Look at the interviews of Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins and Neil Armstrong. When they were going, they were all joyful and that, and when they come back, it looked like someone had just killed their cat. It's awful, it is. So all I'm saying is that you think that we went to the moon. I'm asking you, is it worth questioning?
Yes, we did.
Okay, well, how can we prove this? Oh, again, the why. I don't know. No one's been taken to court. No one's been held accountable. I can't give you a why. It's kind of like, are you asking my opinion or what's the fact? Well, because I don't have the why. I think before I go to a murder scene and I see a murder's been happened, I want to know, has it happened? How did it happen? I don't go, why? I want to know. I want to confirm that a murder has taken place, a crime has taken place. And yet we're jumping a little bit too quick on the why.
Why is it necessary to find a murderer?
Sorry.
Yeah, you were saying about like perspective matters and saying like the guy there, he appears wanting to tell me, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you kind of have to take into account how big the sun actually is.
Well, that's what they say, but how do we prove this? Even science can't prove this.
It's been proven.
No, but it hasn't. That's what I'm saying. I've looked into it and it hasn't been proven, and I challenge you to look into it, and you'll see that based on the angles and that, it hasn't been proven at all, the size. No one's ever been there. How could we possibly measure the distance to the sun or how big it is, or even what the weight is? Apparently we know the weight. We even know the composition and everything. How do we know all this? No one's ever been. Science. So you just want to give so you want to give up your own common sense and critical thinking and just lay down and then say, no, it's okay, someone knows that answer.
Something years looking in something that's like crazy.
But you're saying crazy. I can show you land that I'm not meant to see.
What about you've seen statistics that prove that it's possibly not? Where are your sources? Because if they're flat Earth sources, then they're not reliable sources at all.
Why is that?
Because
flat Earth we're talking
flat Earth. You need an anonymous, well, not anonymous, a non-biased.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, that's fair enough. So the one at the bottom is not a flat earther. Nothing to do with flat Earth. It's the world's longest distance photograph. 273 miles, and you can still see land. 3 miles high should be hidden, and yet you can still see land. That's one of my biggest evidences, is why can we keep seeing land that we're not meant to be able to see? Not meant to see this land. Because look, well, this is the thing, this is the maths that you haven't learned yet, and I just implore you to go away and learn the maths on this. This is spherical trigonometry by Pythagorean theorem. There has to be a calculation of the Earth's. There will be a calculation. It's 24,900 miles. There has to be this calculation.
There are definitely sections of Earth. I imagine at some point it does curl around.
So, well, we're talking about let's say the sea, though. I mean, 65 miles away on Blackpool Promenade. That should be hidden under 2,500 feet of hidden curvature because of Pythagorean's theorem. Sorry?
You want to talk about
Well, I'm saying don't believe a word I say on that. I'm saying go away and check them figures out for yourself, because they're not my figures. They are mainstream science and maths. They're not my figures.
The Earth is so large, obviously smaller than like the sun. It's so large that you wouldn't. The curvature isn't noticeable.
Okay.
It's so large that you wouldn't see. If the Earth is this big, then you can see the curvature within your eyes. If it's 10 billion times bigger or whatever it is,
24,900 miles.
you wouldn't see it. You shouldn't see it.
We agree.
Because your eyes are.
And yet, I've had people all day long saying that they can see the curvature. Do you see how the contradictions? Again, so you can.
That's not in the
So you
sky.
can.
You can see the curvature from.
Do you see about the contradictions?
No, because I agree. We can see.
Oh, we can now. You just said we can't.
That picture is not taken from the sky. That picture was taken on the ground or just above.
Yeah, I will do. I'll just give us 2 minutes.
Being wrong.
It's not in space on the equator, like in the just outside. Or outside.
So what's scientific degrees or
yeah, a lot of people are.
Say that again.
what's scientific degrees or qualifications?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Oh, so
No. Absolutely nothing.
okay, that's safe.
There you go. Okay. I wouldn't tell you anything like that. That's my own personal thing. That's got nothing to do with my natural senses. The fact that I know that we're not spinning. I know that we're not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour faster than the speeding bullet.
How do you know?
What do you feel like they're spinning right now? 1,000 miles an hour? You're not falling over to me. Sorry. Oh, that was rude. That was rude. Say that again. I'm a retard. Oh, there you go. Right. Anyway, guys, it's time to wrap it up, because I think we're coming to a few childish opinions now. Eh?
This kid doesn't speak for.
So there you go. I'll come away, because there's no proper debate here. They're becoming a little bit. It's quite saddening that you can't have a proper debate with a teenager without it falling into mockery. They don't need to, they really don't know how to contain themselves. Not you.
I don't necessarily go that far. Like, I believe we've had a civil argument. I'm not going to say you're.
Well, I mean, it gets a bit silly sometimes, doesn't it? I'm going to start wrapping it up, guys.
You never got someone say you're crazy or you're this and that. You should argue it. So yeah.
No. Right. Oh God, I was just trying to turn that over then. Oh, been a stressful day. Yeah, no, we've had some great debates. It's Truro, it's day 6, and it's a shame, because we've had some great debates with some teenagers and that, but then some of them, when they get in a crowd, it gets a little bit ridiculous. It does. They just kind of want to big themselves up with their mates, don't they? You know. But it's I still like to debate them a little bit. Hopefully I'm given some sort of seed somewhere. Maybe there's something there that they'll go away with. They all got leafleted. You know, hopefully they'll go away and they'll carry on talking. You know, they might be having a laugh and joke right now and it's all fun and games, but you just don't know where it'll lead to. You know, one of them just might end up going and doing a demonstration in a classroom or something. We've seen it happen. So, right, there you go, as you see, just, you know, it's really bright, silly, yeah. Right guys, so we're going to call it a day, and beautiful place, Truro. I've enjoyed it today. We've had some great conversations. You'll see there's not people holding onto their globe. So alright, so it's time. I'm going to start wrapping it up now, guys. Right, so speak to you later. Bye bye.